get caught up on the day's news, plus whatever else he wants to riff on. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Here's the star of the show and your host,
Jason DeRUSH.
Are you ready? All right.
Now live on your radio and streaming to the world at WCCOradio.com and the Odyssey app. Here's Jason DeRUSH.
Oh, it's always a good day when we are live at Target Field. Jason DeRUSH in the outfield along with Dan Cook. Laura back at the studio keeping you up to date on the news, and we're so glad to have you with us on this Friday. Just like so many of you are in the car, on your way to the cabin, on your way up north, thinking about what you're going to do with your family this weekend. We are thinking about a weekend of home baseball. One of the marquee pitching matchups in the major leagues could be happening here at Target Field tonight, plus Nelly. I mean, come on.
I'm not trying to knock anybody's cabin. I hope they have a really wonderful time. We're at the nicest place in the state of Minnesota tonight. This is the place to be.
How about that? That's a bold.
I'm declaring it.
All right. I mean, I could disagree with you.
You usually do.
But I don't have a cabin, and they let me in here. No one's let me into their cabin. So far, Target Field has the advantage. Coming up at 3:30, we are going to talk with the general manager of the Minnesota Twins. Obviously, it's a critical time for the team. Are they going to be sellers at the trade deadline? What pieces do they have to put up? I don't know. They've been playing pretty well lately. They're just right on that edge. It's not where you I guess it's better than being in the tank, but it is a tricky situation.
Well, and with three wild cards, that keeps a lot of teams in contention, and that makes the market even that much tighter. And when you look at the schedule coming up after the All-Star break, you got teams like Colorado. You got some other teams on there that are not. I mean, the Dodgers are in there too. They're obviously a great baseball team, but it's not exactly a murderer's row that they're playing between the All-Star break and the end of the month when the trade deadline happens. So the Twins have a chance to make some hay.
We're going to have a lot of show for you as well, and I want to start with this question because more and more people, and I got text today from friends who worked at Target who are getting called back to work, and my friend who texted me wanted to know if I was celebrating because I have been vocal about the fact that our business community and our government has largely abandoned the downtown core. Minneapolis and St. Paul are less safe today because there are fewer people walking around. And my view is that the number one person or number one outfit to blame for that is government, because these are taxpayer supported employees and offices that have abandoned and partially led to the reduction in property tax value that's going to cost all of us more money. Target has also been the object of some of my frustration because for years they were praised as like some sort of special super citizen, right? Like I'm in the field that has their name on it. Right across the street, you've got their name on Target Center. They have always been more than just a company here. And over the last several years, I think they sort of have been acting just like a company. Well, today news came out that just yesterday they've called a lot of their workers back to work. But there's one worker that is not getting called back to the office, at least not in the same way and not in the way that you would conventionally think about the leader. And I want to know, like, how much does this upset you? If your CEO lives out of state, there are Minnesota companies where the CEO is a registered voter in Florida. There is a Minnesota company where the CEO lives in the New Jersey, New York City area. If you get called back to work and your boss lives somewhere else, are you ticked? Because I would be. 651-461-9226. I would be livid about the fact that as a regular employee who has to pay for parking, who doesn't have the executive parking lot, who doesn't have the nanny at home, who doesn't have the fancy dining room, and I got to pay for my lunch. If the boss lives out of town, I would be extremely irritated. Star Tribune said on top of it, a lot of the research indicates where the CEO lives has a correlation with the performance of the company. That sort of surprised me. I think, like, if you are a good leader, if you go home on the weekend to New Jersey, who cares? But if you're making me come to work, I sort of want you to be like interacting with the community. I think it's kind of crappy, and it leads to this idea that like these CEOs are somehow superhuman and they get the rules and the salaries that are out of the stratosphere. To me, I would be annoyed. Now, here at CCO, we work for a massive company, and obviously, like, their corporate headquarters are not here. So I don't care where I'm sure our CEO is great. I couldn't give two rips about our CEO, to be honest. It doesn't affect, other than I hope it's a good person and I hope the company's in a good direction, but it doesn't impact my life at all. Maybe that's how you feel if you're at Target or Ameriprise, where the CEOs live out of state. I would be annoyed, though, especially if I'm being called into work. That, to me, would be like, all right, I'll come back to work if you move to Minnesota. Right? Like, wouldn't this annoy you?
I don't know if I'd be so annoyed about wherever their, address is for tax purposes. But if I'm being called back to the office, then you better be in an office somewhere. Like, in our case, wherever the Odyssey corporate headquarters is, if I was working in that corporate headquarters and there was a rule about how many days of the week I had to be in the office, the CEO better have their tail end in that office that many days too.
Right.
So, if you live out of state, I don't really care. Fly back.
You don't care. You don't care if the CEO lives in Cincinnati.
Nope. It's just a matter of whether they're in the office or not. They better be, if whatever the rules about working from home are for the little folks, the rules should apply to the big folks too. That's the fair part of it for me.
Yeah, I disagree. I think that part of the way America is set up is that companies are expected to be participants in the community more than just you're just running your business. You're expected to be involved. You're expected. And the reason for that is good business, because the stronger your community is, the happier your employees are, and then your company is going to be better off because of it. Texters. One texter saying, as an employee, not in my job description to support your local coffee shop. Can I make you come to my neighborhood to support my stores? I will say, like, I don't want to derail this and turn this into a what's the benefit of working from home or working from the office. But I do think that the work from home crowd, you guys are the biggest babies on the face of the earth. And if you think the only point of having people back in the office is to support one coffee shop in downtown, get a life. The point of coming back to work and being together is that we have first, there's a corporate benefit to it. And that, I don't care about whether it's better for the company or not, none of my business. But the corporate benefit to me is when you're seeing people, there is just a different energy that happens in the workplace. There's a different connection you feel as an employee to the company. If you work from home, you're just a contractor getting a check. Somebody offers you 50 cents more an hour, you go work for somebody else. There's something different that happens when you work as a part of a team. That's the corporate mission. My interest in this is that we have these downtowns that have all of these buildings, that have all of this investment. So many businesses have made downtown, the central business district, have made it part of their livelihood. And I don't think it's right for big companies and for the county and the state to say, screw you. I don't. And I think it's curious that the people who are most addicted to work from home also are the most collectivist and socialist when it comes to government policies. Why aren't you? What happened to all for everybody? Make it ever. It's all about me when it comes to work from home, but it's all about everybody else when it comes to, tax policy, public transit, on and on. I just think it's preposterous. All right. I didn't want to get derailed, and now
look at you now.
Look at me now. Look at me now. Do you care about the boss, where they live? Lethal on YouTube says, couldn't care less. I'm there for a paycheck, not the management. I get that too. I would be particularly irritated if I were being called back in. I think that is the bigger factor for me. It's 3:19. Keep the calls and texts coming. 651-461-9226. It is going to be a busy weekend with road construction. Check before you go anywhere. JP will keep you updated all afternoon on our CCO traffic as we take you wherever you're going on a Friday here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, this weekend is you're gathering with family, gathering with friends. I want you to make Minnesota Pork a part of your family get-togethers. It's Jason here for the Minnesota Pork Board. 3,000 pork farmers every corner of this state. I had a little bit of pork chop for lunch today. Oh, man. I can still taste it. It's so good. Lean, high in protein. Give me the energy I needed to get this show going today. Minnesota pork, so many options. And you might be a little bored. You're like, I don't know. What am I going to do? Just throw a chop on? Yeah, just throw a chop on the grill, okay? But if you want to mix it up, go to mnpork.com. All sorts of recipes. Taste what pork can do for you. It's the flavor, it's the protein, it's the nutrition, and for me, it's the people. Let's go to your grocery store and your butcher shop, and let's have Minnesota pork for dinner this weekend. Oh, yeah.
Advantage Seamless Gutters is now Advantage Home Pros. New look, same pros. Still locally owned and now taking care of all your gutter and roofing needs. Don't spend your weekends on a ladder cleaning your gutters when you could be spending time with family and planning that summer trip. Trust your local gutter pros, Advantage Home Pros. Now your local custom roofing pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But DC politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple, snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien. Really, these gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINNELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk. Millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Jason DeRusha is back on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I hate to be the one to break. I mean, to a certain degree, I understand the people like Chris who are saying my boss can live where they want as long as I'm treated right and paid what I feel I'm worth, then who cares? It is sort of interesting. Like that is the logical approach, right, Dan? I mean, it's hard to argue with that. It makes sense. And emotionally, this is more of an emotional reaction, I think, as an employee. I want my boss to be in the trenches with me, and I want them to be there on the weekend. I don't want them to be at work and then on Friday fly home to wherever. And I do think part of why you look at Target, and not to single them out, but I will, because they're the largest employer in downtown Minneapolis. They had 7,100 people. At one point, I think they had 8,000 people in downtown Minneapolis. If the CEO lived here, don't you think people would have been called back to work before now? I do. I think the fact that he lived in Florida made it real hard to tell people they had to get back to the office. I think it was a major, major difference. If you live in this community, you feel the loss in a different way, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's my view on it.
I think an important part of leadership is not asking your employees to do anything you're not willing to do. And that's my feeling when it comes to the fairness of, if you're going to ask employees to be back in the office 3-4 days a week, whatever it is, then you as the CEO or you as the leader of the group need to be in the office 3 to 4 days a week. And, again, corporations that are spread out all across the country, obviously the CEO can't be in every office, but wherever the headquarters is, I mean, whatever, the main office is, they need to be there. Again, for me personally, I don't care what they do on the weekends. But, if you're asking me to be in the office 3-4 days a week, I think you as a leader need to be in there.
Texters saying, I'm at work to make money, not friends. So I could care less about the CEO and upper management. Frankly, I'd be happier if they weren't hanging around the work.
I do get that sentiment. Yeah.
That is the Cook approach for sure. That's how I felt when I was anchoring the morning news, for sure. Jason, the CEO can send workers to the office the same way a general can send soldiers to the front. Those who actually lead from the front are rare. It's sort of interesting. If you're not interacting with the CEO on a day-to-day basis, what would it matter? Most employees are way down the food chain that they don't even know who the CEO is. Another texter, I'd love to be in the office and the boss not to be. Have you guys considered that you work for terrible people? This may not be the correct approach when it comes to the way to run a company, but you might work for jerks. It's possible. I'm just saying. For school districts, a texter says it's very important for superintendents and principals to live in that community, especially in rural areas. I wonder if we have a different attitude about this when it comes to public employees. Because remember the outcry when we had the Hennepin County director of the libraries,
yeah.
And the libraries director was, again, living in Florida. Also, side note, interesting how these people keep going to Florida.
I wonder why that is.
But the library person who was there, and people were sort of annoyed by that, right?
More than sort of.
Now, could you run the library effectively from somewhere else?
Possibly.
I think that, the question about a CEO living somewhere else, everybody is making me reconsider whether I'm being unfair about this. My general view is that if you were hired to work in accounting, theoretically, you could, So theoretically, you could live in North Dakota and fly to work and work here Monday through Friday and fly back home to North Dakota.
Yes.
And nobody would really care.
Nope.
But the accountant isn't making decisions that affect the wider community. Now, if you're a CEO of a 50-person company, maybe it doesn't matter as much. If you're the CEO of the biggest employer in the state, asking to be treated like you're something like a civic contributor, I guess I just wish you lived here.
I hear you.
I wish you lived here.
I mean, obviously, there's going to be some variance, right? Because not all businesses are the same. And, whether you're dealing with, a public entity versus a private entity versus the biggest employer in the state.
Yeah.
There's going to be difference, for each of those. But I think there's a general rule or general idea that I think we can all agree on, that, let's be in this thing together. I don't need the CEO hovering over my shoulder.
That's
I'm not
right.
saying
No.
that.
I don't want
I'm saying if I have to be in the office, they
You
should
have to be
lead
in the
by
office.
being in the office.
Yeah. If you were my boss, I'd come in, says a texter. Am I hiring? I wish I were.
Yeah.
I wish we had more people here for sure. OMG, get over yourself with this return to office crap. People in cubicles are depressed. I have this all wrong. I think people who work from home have convinced themselves that they're not depressed. And there are exceptions. There are people who work. Look, here's the hypocrisy of this. My wife works from home and has for 15 years. And there are days that she's like, I wish I had a workplace. I wish I had a team that I could hang out with, that I could get to know, whatever. Is she a tremendous employee? Clearly, because the company made an exception for her to work remotely. The reality is it doesn't matter what we all want. And this is no surprise that eventually people were going to come back to work.
Yeah.
Because the bosses want people to come back to work. 3:30, let's break. It is Friday. We got a great matchup, Pirates and Twins here at Target Field tonight. How about we talk with the Twins general manager? You've got questions. You're ready to take questions from the people, right? Jeremy's ready. Text him at 651-461-9226. We're at Target Field. We'll talk Twins baseball in just a minute. Here in the home of the Twins, this is Drive Time with DeRUSH on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, so I was texting with my friend Kevin today, who is at J.H. & Sons. J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. And Kevin's like, Jason, you got to tell everybody about this sale because we've lost our minds. We're putting all spring and summer clothing at J.H. & Sons on sale. All of it is 50% off. I don't know how long this sale is going to go, but if I were you, I would get out there this weekend. J.H. & Sons is at the Galleria in Edina. The Halverson family has been dressing men in Minnesota for 50 years. They started with a store in St. Cloud. Now they're in Omaha. They're in Sioux Falls. They are like the premier stores in Omaha and Sioux Falls, and we're so lucky to have them at the Galleria in Edina. Short sleeve stuff, date night stuff, vacation stuff, all of that on sale right now. And like I have been wearing, so instead of like the shacket trend was hot. Now it's the unstructured blazer. So like no shoulder pads or anything. That it just looks casual, but you just throw it over a polo shirt or a t-shirt. You look so good. Go talk to Kevin or Bryce or Dean or any of my guys at J.H. & Sons. You can sign up for their email list, and you'll be the first to know about these kinds of sales. Do it at jhandsons.com.
You gave it your all out there. Morning news with Vanita crushed it. Adam and Jordana, you owned the viewpoint. And when Chad Hartman brought the heat, you stared it down like a champion. You didn't flinch during some stressful Twins games, then powered through CCO's How To Saturday without losing focus. That's not just stamina, that's WCCO spirit. That's Hall of Fame level listening.
Binge the broadcasts at News Talk 830 WCCO because champions are made one headline at a time.
Brianna is a 13-year member of Liuna Local 563, skilled construction laborers.
I want to remind everyone to slow down out there when driving through the construction zones. There is a lot of important construction work on our streets, highways, and bridges, and we want you to get to your destination on time. Help keep us safe. Please reduce your speeds and follow construction zone signage. Our work is building a better and safer Minnesota.
For career opportunities, visit buildthenorth.com.
Here's a few questions for you from California Psychics. Do your workdays seem to go on forever? Is your career progression as fast as downtown traffic? Or does your boss still not know your name?
Hey, you, Tina, Lisa, Sheila, whatever. Get that report to me by lunch, okay? It's Terry, ma'am. Just get it done, Terry.
It's time to read the career warning signs and talk to California Psychics. We're always on hand to give you the career guidance you need. You see, we only connect you with the very best. In fact, 98% of the psychics who apply to work with us don't make the grade. That's why we can guarantee if your reading isn't life-changing, it's free. So you could soon be telling your boss, where to stick that report.
Where are you going, Terry? Terry!
Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics. Call 1-800-PREDICT today and get 20 minutes for just $20.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040. 800-408-4040.
Most data breaches don't come from hackers. They come from old laptops and phones sitting in closets. Studies reveal that these neglected devices are a leading cause of data breaches. Recycling your electronics protects your data and the planet. At Electronics Recycling of Minnesota, we offer free, secure recycling services for both individuals and businesses, with certified data destruction options available as well. Protect your data. Protect the environment. Learn more at ecyclemn.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Problems on the west side of the Metro, North 169. The ramp to 36th Avenue is currently closed right now because of a multi-car crash. State Patrol is with it. Traffic on the main line a bit slow as you make way toward 36. And if you're going to be traveling beyond that, you will find some slowdowns up ahead past Lake Road to 94. Eastbound 394 plugged up as move in from Moore Parkway to downtown Minneapolis. 94 southbound slowing 55 over the Riverside. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, the weather is brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Services. Here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll have air quality issues up north. This is from the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. We'll notice it in the sky here in the Twin Cities, but this weekend is going to feel so nice. Partly cloudy, a little hazy with that smoke, 82 the high tomorrow, and much less humid. We'll keep that partly cloudy sky on Sunday with a high up around 87.
Right now, it is 85 at Target Field here on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha.
He's representing the state, everything. He should be a model citizen.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Drive Time with DeRusha live at Target Field. Big matchup tonight. If you love pitching, man, you know what's going to happen tonight. It's going to be like 7-5, and we're going to be like, what happened to this pitching duel that we're all excited to see tonight? Joe Ryan on the mound, all-star for the Minnesota Twins against really one of the best pitchers in major. Well, these are two of the best pitchers in the majors. But I think there's going to be a lot of excitement to see Paul Skeens on the mound out here for the Pirates tonight, too. So it should be a pitcher's duel followed by a concert. Jeremy Zoll is the general manager of the Minnesota Twins. These are the fun days to be out here, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you said it. Two of the best pitchers in the game getting to go against each other on a Friday night. Weather's working in our favor. It's going to be a great night at the park. Byron Buxton back in the lineup. Nelly concert after the game.
Are you a Nelly guy? That's a no.
I was a Nelly guy growing up. Sure.
All right.
My wife's coming. We're excited. We're excited for the concert.
It is a funny thing. Like you see, like a lot of the players, they bring their wives or their girlfriends or their family. It is now a lot of these players are pretty young to remember the Nelly era.
I think a lot of them were born around the time that his hits were coming out. So, yeah, we have to overcome that. But
well, pardon the Nelly reference, but in the front offices of every team, it is getting hot in her right now. Was that good? Was that like very morning news anchor sound there? Yes. I think you're probably being asked this at the grocery store. Are the Twins going to be buyers or are they going to be sellers?
Yeah, I think it's a totally fair question. And, from our perspective, we want to play this out as long as we can, given that the third wild card exists and, really just a handful of games out. I feel like the schedule's favorable for us over this next stretch. Really want to, take as much time as we can to evaluate everything so we can make the best decisions that we can come, the final 3, 4, 5 days leading into the deadline, which is when 95% of the trades are made anyway.
Right now, Byron Buxton is out on the field taking the batting practice in the style of the home run derby. So they're blasting the music to recreate sort of the vibe.
We got a timer going. We got a timeout break timer. We got the counter for number of homers he hits. We did this the other day too on Wednesday, I believe. So
they take the cage away because
correct.
There's no cage. Normal BP, you have a cage.
Give Tommy Watkins the best visual he can because there's an art to being the BP pitcher as well.
That's what I always think about. Like we look at these home run derby winners and you think, man, like unbelievable. But the pitcher deserves the same amount of credit, right? Like you can't just sort of lob it in there because it doesn't come in at enough velocity to send the ball flying.
No doubt. There's a pace to it that you got to put in the right location. You got to make sure you're meeting the guy.
Wasn't it? That was a low fastball.
Tommy's feeling the weight of the world on his shoulders heading into Atlanta, but this is why we practice. It's not just for Byron, but good opportunity for everyone to get the right feel of things.
There's a pretty good rip. That one's gone. So pretty fun.
It's great. It's great.
How good is this for the organization? I mean, obviously to have Joe in it, have Byron. There's a home run right to us.
I'm going to have to keep my head on a swivel here. All right.
That one almost knocked Dan Cook in the head. That was right back at us. I do sometimes wonder if these guys, if they're targeting, if they can see anybody in the outfield, if it's coming at us.
We'll have Nina protect us. We'll be in good shape.
This is a pretty good souvenir right there. There's a Byron BP home run. That's pretty fun. This is great for the Twins, right?
Absolutely. I mean, Byron, what a season he's had. Really excited for him. We talked about it during the offseason. It was his first normal offseason, no offseason procedures. Came in healthy. Obviously, missed a little bit of time with the concussion during this season, but, you see the impact it's had for him to feel like his body's full go, the talent that he has, and that all coming to fruition. So super well-deserved and really excited he gets to do all this in Atlanta, home state, and all that.
It's pretty cool. Jeremy Zoll is the general manager for the Minnesota Twins. So obviously, you talked about being within reach of that third wild card slot. When you're running scenarios, and I assume in your job, you just have to run all the scenarios. We're buyers, we're sellers. Being in contention for that third spot, as a fan, I have mixed feelings about it. It's like, well, you're in the playoffs. You don't want to sell for parts, when you're in that scenario. And also, when you're in the third slot, like it's not exactly like you're lighting things on fire. Maybe you should look at that opportunity to sell. I don't know.
It's tricky. Absolutely. I think, to your point,
is that demoralizing?
We're going to always evaluate all scenarios to be when you're in this position, you got to be prepared to evaluate every single scenario that could come up by the time we need to actually make decisions. So that's something that is very much on our mind, as these next couple weeks come to fruition. Everyone wants to have a chance to compete in the playoffs, and we know that once you're in the playoffs, anything can happen. And, talked about Joe Ryan already today. He's having an unbelievable season. Pablo Lopez, we expect to have him back approximately around, a little after the trade deadline, somewhere in that range. So when you look at Pablo, Joe, knowing what they could do in a playoff series, never mind the rest of the group, you'd love to have those opportunities, and that's what you're trying to set yourself up for, if at all possible.
All of this has to happen like in the last couple days before the deadline, right?
Yeah, it really does. there's obviously we have the draft this week. It leads into the All-Star break. Coming out of the All-Star break, that's when conversations will start to really pick up around the deadline, and we will spend some real time having deeper conversations with teams. But it's in that last 3, 4, 5 days when you feel like you're either getting traction or not on anything.
Do we have any real, seeing Byron practice here makes me feel good about the injury he had the other day. Yeah. How are we feeling about some of the other players that we're watching with injuries, Bailey or Zebi or Pablo?
We're a lot of positive updates there. Pablo, we're hopeful. Early August is seeming like he should be generally tracking for that. He has the most milestones left to hit, just given the severity of his injury. But more updates to come as he starts to take down bullpens and whatnot. Zebi Matthews is set to go on a rehab assignment on Sunday. He threw a live BP here on Tuesday, and that all went well. So we're feeling really encouraged about his progress. Bailey Ober has a live BP on tomorrow on Saturday. So he's tracking well as well.
Keep your eyes out for that one. There's another home run. We're up to 7 home runs here in our 3 minute. It's been sort of a slow pace, so seven dingers in this is pretty darn good. I want to ask you about some of the young guys that you're keeping an eye on. Obviously, everybody is looking at, are we going to be buyers? Are we going to be sellers? Trade deadline. But this time of year, you also start to see some of the AAA players that are making an impact, and we get the chance here with the team right in St. Paul to see it. Is there anybody that's impressing you that you're excited about?
Yeah, we've had a number of guys playing really well in St. Paul. Start with Marco Raya, hit an awesome start last night. He started the year, took his lumps early on. He was working through some stuff, not throwing as many strikes as he was hoping to be. But his last 4 or 5 starts, he's really hit his stride. Still super young, a whole lot of promise. So that's really been encouraging. Eddie Julian's been playing really well. Obviously struggled early in the year, but feeling like he's starting to hit his stride again. Emmanuel Rodriguez is just returned from the IL, and he's off and running again. Homered the other night. And then another name I'll highlight here, Aaron Sabato, first rounder back in 2020. He got stuck in AA for a couple years. And then he this year he really found another gear, performed really well in AA, and he's performed really nicely in AAA over the last couple weeks here. Really excited for Aaron as well.
Jeremy Zoll, your focus and keeping it together during that crazy loud home run derby moment was quite impressive.
There's a lot happening. Buck hit like 5 homers in the last 20 seconds, and we got the Buck truck sound alarm. So there was a lot happening there.
I was going to ask if you wanted to do a home run call. If you there was a point in your life where you thought you would be that play-by-play guy.
I'm like, the idea when you watch, back, but it's right. It's hard. I don't envy people that are constantly on the air, so it's a tough job.
And when you're wrong,
yeah,
when you're winding up for the call and it doesn't quite work out, it's never
very quick to end up on social media.
That's
these
right.
Days too.
That's right.
A little easier a little while back.
All right, tonight, Nelly. We know that they closed off the usual. They closed off the little lunchroom where the reporters usually go have food here to be like.
I've heard that because of the draft. The draft prep room is right next door, and we're not allowed to use the restrooms in that room now.
So if you had a rider like you, big time Jeremy Zoll, where you get to say, in my dressing room, I want this. What would be in your rider? What snack? What drink? What would you want in there?
Oh man, what snacks and drinks would I want? Well, that's a good. We're hitting all the favorites right now because draft room week is often there's a lot of
similar deal, right? So what's your go-to?
The peanut M&Ms get hit pretty hard.
Yeah.
Dots pretzels are always a favorite for mid-afternoon snack, so hard to go wrong there. And we hit the non-alcoholic seltzers, LaCroix, Bubblies, all the flavors. So need to make sure I have a good stash of that. But I don't know. I don't really discriminate when it comes to.
It's pretty low maintenance.
Yeah,
it's pretty low maintenance.
I try to be low maintenance.
I like it. I like it. I know. Sort of the go-to is always like you pick a color of M&Ms to make them go through the whole thing and get it out of there. Pretty fun. What this weekend? We've got this homestand. And then do you work around the clock, or do you get out of here and get some family time before it really gets to be crunch time?
So with the draft moving, going back before 5 years ago and earlier, the draft used to be in June, and the All-Star break was kind of a clear demarcation point. Now the first round of the draft is Sunday night. Second round, there used to be the last few years, there's been day 2 and day 3, which were Monday and Tuesday. Now they've made Sunday night will be the first couple rounds, and then Monday will be rounds 3 through 20. So once we get through that, we'll still have to work through signing all the players and getting them all to Fort Myers for post-draft mini camp. But after we get through Monday night, then try to take a couple days down with the family, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and enjoy a little bit of a reset after a really busy push, knowing there's another big push coming heading into the trade deadline there.
How is this draft class? How is the talent?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about how at the very top of the draft, there hasn't been those consensus top handful of picks like there have been in other years. Not sure exactly what to make of that or not. We feel like where maybe that hasn't been as clear about who are the top handful of picks, there is really nice depth. So in a year that we're picking 16 and 36, we actually feel pretty good about that and excited about the players that we're talking about in that range.
Jeremy Zoll, appreciate it. Really good conversation. Let's hope for the matchup that we expect tonight, right?
Yeah, appreciate you having me on, and really looking forward to a great night at Target Field.
All right, we'll have it here on the radio on CCO. Pregame starting at 6 o'clock. Drive time back in just a minute here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, hey, I got a big announcement for you for my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, because Livia days are in effect right now. And I know you're like, Jason, it's summer, it's the middle, we're grilling. I don't want to start a weight loss program. I get it. I was there 3 years ago when I joined Livia, right around this time of year. Summer was not the worst time of the world. Actually, for me, it worked great. I started on Livium right away. You're losing like up to 10 pounds in your first 2 weeks. So you feel a taste of success. And then for me, that motivated me to stay on the program. Right now, if you join Livia, they have the added bonus. You get 50% off their summer nutrition program. 50% off the whole program if you join now. That is the Livia Days promotion. They also have a special if you're interested in the medical weight loss program. Buy 2 months of Livia's same-day GLP-1 weight loss medication injections, and you get the third month free. The deals are great, but what's more important is that you're going to lose the weight and then keep it off. 45 pounds gone for me, and gone for good. It's been 2.5 years since I hit my goal. Reach out at Livia.com, 855-GO-LIVIA, or Livia.com today.
Grown-ups, aren't Sundays more fun without... Can I have screen time? Can I have a snack? I don't want to go to Grandma's. It smells funny. And I'm bored. Bored is impossible on Kids Day at Target Field. The gate 30 for lawn is turned into Bullseye's backyard. Kids' meals are half off. Kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game. And Grandma's invited too. Enjoy your weekend wind-up with Sunday Kids Days, presented by Target. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
Hyatt Centric Downtown Minneapolis Hotel, the lifestyle hotel in the heart of Minneapolis, where the historic Minneapolis Athletic Club meets the urban chic Hyatt Centric. Enjoy your favorite sporting event, concert, or maybe a relaxing getaway downtown. With 154 spacious rooms, you can book with confidence that there's a room to fit your needs. Enjoy a drink at the 615 Bar and Lounge, or work out in the 7,000 square foot fitness center with indoor track. For more, go to HyattCentricDowntownMinneapolis.com.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple, snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien, really. These gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINNELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf.
Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates, American Family Insurance, 494 eastbound at Portland Avenue. Had a crash in the right lane. They just cleared out of the way as we came to air. Traffic remains tight, though, as coming from East Bush Lake Road. North 169, the ramp to 36th Avenue. Had a crash working there on the ramp. That's cleared out of the way. Ramp's been reopened. North 169's heavies come up from Benton. Bren Road, rather. Protect what matters most with Amber Scholl of Scholl & Associates with American Family Insurance. From your home to your car to your dreams, Amber Scholl and her team are here to help you every step of the way. Call Amber Scholl today at 651-738-4811. To learn more, visit amfam.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros, Advantage Home Pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials, seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
We are at Target Field, and it is going to be a toasty night for sure. Low temperature tonight, 68. Tomorrow, 40% chance of showers, high of 79. Sunday looking hot, 87 degrees. Right now it's cloudy and 85 on CCO. We are live at Target Field. Dan is here. I've got the Byron Buxton live home run derby practice ball right out here. Thanks to Nina Zimmerman from the Twins who chased that down.
After. It just about went down the ramp, she said, so she cut it off.
Good
hands.
The news side of that is if Byron is out there taking home run derby practice, that is a very good sign. We were concerned about the injury.
Right.
He
got hit on the hand. X-rays had obviously that night came back negative, so that everything was good there. But yeah, if he's out taking cuts, that means he's probably feeling pretty good. We'll see if he's in the lineup tonight.
All right. The lineup should be announced within, I don't know, usually we see that over the next half hour or so. Game tonight, first pitch is 7:10.
So pregame on CCO is 6:30. Steve Thompson will fill in.
Little half hour for Stevie.
From 6 to 6:30.
Very good. Oh, you know, the worst thing about being here at the pregame is right behind us is a vendor who starts cooking onions.
Grilling the onions up.
Grilling on the flat top.
For the hot dogs, you can see right over my shoulder here.
And now we're all hungry. That's sort of how that goes. Card DeSharks coming up at 4 o'clock. We'll take 2 contestants next.
Broadcasting from the Flatibow Land Studios, this is News Talk 830 WCCO. If you're looking to buy or sell farmland, you need Flatibow Land. For the latest auctions, listings, appraisals, and consulting, visit flatibowland.com.
Storm season is here. That means nature's fury will cause damage to your roof. When it does, that's when you call Brian Jobe of Jobe Brothers Construction. Because they're local, they offer same-day Twin City-wide emergency service. Jobe Brothers Construction will repair or replace your roof from nature's wrath. They'll also work with your insurance company to ensure all the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. Brian and his team truly take the hassle out of a terrible situation. Working with Brian and his crew will give you peace of mind because it was done right. Just contact Joe Brothers Construction for a no-obligation, free, and full inspection. Contact them online at joebrothersconstruction.com. That's J-O-B-E, Joe Brothers Construction, handling all your roofing, siding, window, and gutter needs. They'll even repair your roof from fallen trees. Joe Brothers Construction. They get the job done right.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/fax. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional.
I've never seen anything like it. A little narrow river that becomes a monster.
President Trump toured the flood devastation in Texas today.
The First Lady and I are here in Texas to express the love and support and the anguish of our entire nation in the aftermath of this really horrific and deadly flood.
170 people are still missing. Karen Waz in Kerrville with the latest on the search efforts.
We've seen boat crews going by, ATVs, folks searching on horses, mules, using canine crews. They're really pulling out all the stops to make sure everyone can be accounted for. But as the days go on, the hope is really waning.
Areas of the country that once seemed almost immune from floods have now been hit repeatedly. Stacey Lynn has that.
In Vermont, up to 5 inches of rain fell in just a few hours on Thursday. Homes were heavily damaged and some roadways were washed out due to the severe flooding. Massachusetts also got hit with over 7 inches of rain, disrupting businesses and commuters.
It's the third consecutive summer of severe flooding in Vermont. The National Weather Service says it's partly due to climate change. An appeals court has struck down an agreement over the penalty facing the mastermind of the 9/11 attacks. Vicki Barker has that.
The deal would have seen accused mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed plead guilty in exchange for prosecutors not asking for the death penalty. But President Biden's Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin insisted that only the defense secretary can make a decision about the death penalty for an attack as grave as September 11. And now a divided federal appeals court has agreed. Vicki Barker, CBS News.
The Centers for Disease Control says there's a growing number of kids diagnosed with pre-diabetes, nearly 1 in 3. That's far higher than previous estimates. Dr. Christopher Holliday.
The good news is that pre-diabetes is actually reversible. So if you make these modest lifestyle changes after you've been found out you have pre-diabetes or are at high risk for type 2 diabetes, this can be reversed.
On Wall Street, traders had tariffs on their minds again. Business reporter Jason Brooks.
Investors couldn't shake off tariff concerns with President Trump announcing a 35% tariff on Canadian imports and warning of higher tariffs if Canada retaliates against the U.S. The NASDAQ and S&P dipped from record highs. The Dow plunged 279 points.
And checking the numbers, futures are now lower. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit progressive.com.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 82 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. St. Paul police confirming officers were involved in a shooting early this afternoon near Maryland Avenue and Clarence Street in the city's Phelan neighborhood. We are awaiting more details, but witnesses reporting a suspect was being chased by police and fired at officers. This was near a Cub food store in the Phelan neighborhood. No police were injured. There are no reports of any other injuries. The case has been turned over to the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension for investigation. The mother of Manny Collins breaking her silence today after the boy's father was charged with murder earlier this week. Ashley Berry speaking with the media outside the governor's mansion in St. Paul.
I just pray he get the justice he deserves. He deserves some justice. And it's a lot I want to say that I can't say right now.
Berry says Manny was a loving, family-oriented kid. Jordan Collins Sr. has been charged with 1 count of second-degree murder and is in custody on $2 million bond. A grand jury is considering first-degree murder charges following grisly details of the boy's killing outlined in a criminal complaint. Governor Tim Walz calling a special election for September 16th to fill the vacancy left by the death of House Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman. WCCO radio political analyst Blois Olson on what he expects to hear from Republican challengers.
Pushing back against the DFL agenda, Governor Walz, the liberal agenda. I don't believe that any Republican running for this seat would run against Melissa Hortman's legacy. I think it would backfire very quickly. Especially in a seat that is strong DFL.
A primary would be held August 12th if necessary. It's been a while since we've had an air quality alert to talk about, but that's changing today. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency is now including all of the state in the alert for unhealthy air through 9 a.m. Monday morning, with the heaviest smoke in the northern half of the state. This is again due to Canadian wildfires and a shift in the wind. It is a hot one for the first day of a massive Asian food festival in the South Metro.
Nearly 50,000 people are expected to attend Panda Fest this weekend at the Mall of America. Festival founder Biu Biu Xu.
I bring a lot of authentic street food vendors from New York, from Los Angeles. They came here to do this show.
Bloomington is one of 12 destinations for the festival this year that brings Asian traditions to life through food and live cultural performances.
We are sold out events. Yes, like for Atlanta sold out, and Philadelphia, Boston, and Seattle, all the events are sold out. And here, same.
Outside the Mall of America in Bloomington, Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
The Minnesota Timberwolves' new owners officially talking about their new acquisition to the national media at the NBA Summer League in Las Vegas today. Alex Rodriguez and Mark Laurie saying they're excited about making long-term sustainable investments in the franchise, with Rodriguez saying that includes a new arena.
If you want to compete at the level we want to compete year in and year out, a new arena is what our fans deserve. We're in the very, very early stages. We've done a great deal of work over the last 3 years, but an arena in Minneapolis for our fans would be absolutely awesome.
The two did not discuss details of those early stages, but said ownership is not a hobby for them and they are committed to investing in the Twin Cities community. WCCO News Times, 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. 10 westbound jamming up. Egret heading up to Round Lake Boulevard. 94 westbound slows from Hemlock Lane to Weaver Lake Road. And then again is make way toward 101 up in Rogers. Traveling west 94 to Minneapolis. That's slow and goes coming from Highway 280. Crosstown eastbound jammed up. Gleason to Cedar Avenue. Attention motorists, Laguna, Minnesota wants you to slow down when driving in construction zones. They're now entering their work zone. They are building a better Minnesota for you, so please slow down when you see the orange cones and yellow vests. And save lives. Brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Thielen Meats is a family tradition. Bring home the best. Call ahead to order and pick up on your way to the lake. You'll be the hit of the party, I guarantee it. ThielenMeats.com.
No meals complete without Thielen Meats
of Piers.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Thielen Meats. Visit Thielen Meats of Piers. No meals complete without Thielen Meats. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms will linger into the overnight, falling back to 68. Tomorrow will feel so much more refreshing. Partly cloudy, not humid, bit of a breeze from the northwest, 82 the afternoon high, and you will notice the smoke in the sky. The air quality will be at its worst up across parts of northern Minnesota. Sunday, partly cloudy and 87, sunshine 88 on Monday with rain back in play next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mostly cloudy right now, 82 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Your Twitter feed won't take your calls, but we will. News Talk 830 WCCO.
No suit, no tie. Just DeRusha. It's drive time. Live from the WCCO studios, high atop the Odyssey Tower.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise.
I'm super excited to introduce to you
Jason DeRusha.
Field Twins and the Pirates tonight. An amazing pitching matchup brings us out to Target Field. Jason DeRusha here with Dan Cook. And if you're watching on the stream on YouTube at the WCCO radio feed, I need you to call in right now to play Card DeSharks. I need two contestants, 651-461-9226. I have brought 2 decks of cards. We didn't bring the whole board out here. But we did bring two.
Hartman was all over me about, what good producer would bring the whole board out here.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. So instead we
You think
have.
he'd work that hard? I don't think so.
We have a deck of blue cards. It took a bit for me to figure out, some of the people who are watching on the feed, how to set up the cards and have the camera in the right direction so everything wasn't backwards. So we have straightened things out. So we love for you to follow along and watch us live on YouTube. You can watch us on the WCCO Radio Facebook page, or I know a lot of people like following along on X. If you're an X, formerly Twitter user, that's at the DeRushaj account. So you can follow along with that. 651-461-9226. We've got one contestant on the line. We need one more. We're playing for $50 at the Jester Concept Restaurants. Jester has just opened a new restaurant at Excelsior called Shiki. Today, they are opening the patio, a butcher and the boar. They built this beautiful 100-seat patio right near Target Field. So if you're coming to the Twins game, stop at the patio at Butcher and the Boar, have some food, have a drink, and the winner of Card DeSharks is going to walk away with a $50 gift card. Pretty cool stuff. We've got our contestants. We're ready to rock. Let's play the music and let's play Minnesota's fastest growing afternoon card-related game. It's called Card DeSharks. Lindsay, that was so dramatic. Now you have to, there it is. There it is.
That's the computer. That's not Lindsay.
No. The air may feel soupy, but the weekend is here, so turn on your AC and let out a cheer. You may be the victor in this card game so cool. So play Card DeSharks, where having fun is the rule on Card DeSharks. All right. There it is, Dan. How'd we do?
Not bad.
It's fine.
Not bad.
It's fine.
You've done better, but
I got a lot going on out here.
There's a lot of stuff
There's
got
a
going
lot
on.
happening.
There's a lot happening.
All right, no doubt about it. Okay, we have two contestants on the line. We have Scott from Lakeville. Say hello to Scott. Hi, Scott. How's it going?
Hey, how are you guys doing today?
We're at the ballpark. The sun is out. Batting practice is about to get underway. Life is pretty good for us. That is for sure.
That's awesome. I'll be there tomorrow volunteering with my kids.
Oh, cool.
What do you guys do? Are you doing like a concession stand bid or what's the deal?
Yeah, we are. It's they have really good prices on hot dogs and candy 2 hours before the game starts. I'll be running that with my daughter.
Oh, that's that new Saturday bid
Yeah.
they're doing. That 612 Saturdays out here. It's a really good deal. Very fun.
Yep. Yeah, that'll be fun.
Nice. It'll raise some money too. So that's fantastic. Well, stand by, Scott, because you're playing with one of our favorite callers and YouTube chat room participants. Say hi to Jonathan. Hey, Jonathan, how's it going?
Good, Jason DeRusha. Oh, my God. You know what's funny? I have never been hung up on in my entire life.
We know that's not true. We know that.
That is not true. But I tell you what, whoever's doing the phone, she got me up right away. So you're welcome. Go ahead.
How about that, Lindsay? You're getting a little love here. I think yeah, it's a little side swipe at Cook is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting, Dan. You got the camera fixed on YouTube. I'm very proud. You have learned well yesterday.
Well, I'd love to take credit for that, but Jason does all the camera work, so
yeah,
I just sit here and look pretty.
The struggle was real.
The struggle was real for sure. All right, very good. You guys know how we play this game. We start with a question. It's a survey where the answer will be between 0 and 100. And Scott is going to give me a number first. Jonathan will say higher or lower, and then we'll go to the board. The cards are dealt. We have blue cards, and we have Evan Williams bourbon cards. If Evan Williams Bourbon would like to sponsor this segment, we could use their cards more often. But that is the deck of cards that I had available. So that's how we go. Here we go. The first question to you, Scott. Scott, do you think people who claim to have seen UFOs are crazy? Do you think people who claim to see UFOs are crazy? We surveyed 100 people. How many people said, yes, we think people who claim to have seen UFOs are crazy? Have you ever seen a UFO, Scott?
No, I haven't. No, not yet.
Not yet. You can't rule it out. Dan Cook is Mr. Space, Mr. Outer Limits.
Amateur astronomer is the term I like to use.
Have you ever seen a UFO?
No.
All right.
No.
All right. What do you think, Scott? How many people said yes? I think people who claim to have seen UFOs are crazy.
That's a tough one. I'll go with 72.
Scott says 72. Jonathan, what do you think? Have you ever seen a UFO?
I hope to see one soon because that's the only thing left on planet Earth one that needs to happen. So the answer would be no.
I think living in Minneapolis with the experiences you've had, seeing a UFO might not even crack the top 10 in weird things you've seen in this city.
If that happens, I'm out. Please take me to Earth 2. So go ahead.
Scott said 72. Do you think higher or lower the number of people who would say, if you claim to see a UFO, you're crazy?
I would say higher.
Jonathan would say higher. This survey may have been conducted in LA because the actual number of people who say those who claim to have seen UFOs are crazy is just 16. Only 16. Apparently they think it's fine. Not crazy at all. Not crazy at all. So good news for you, Scott. You get to choose. Do you want the blue cards or do you want the bourbon cards?
You know what? Let's go with the bourbon cards.
All right, why not? Jonathan takes the bourbon cards. Your opening number is a 7. Your opening card is a 7. Do you want to? You got the question right, so you can change the card. Do you want to change that 7?
Yeah, let's change it.
Yeah, I would change it too. Let's change that 7. Your 7 becomes a 2. Much better card. And now you got a 2. Nice. Do you want to go higher or lower than the 2?
Let's go higher.
Higher than a 2. It is a 9. It is higher than a 9. And your 9 on this card also comes with a picture of a classic sour. This is just very strange. I hope this is legal. I hope I don't get in trouble for like alcohol content on YouTube, but what can I tell you? 9 is not a great card, Scott. You can freeze on the 9 and hope for another shot, or you could roll the dice and go higher or lower. What do you want to do?
You know what? Let's roll the dice. I'm gonna go with probably a bad decision here, but I'll go higher.
All right, higher than a 9, slightly against the odds.
Yeah, bold.
Higher than a 9, it is a
that?
queen. It is higher than a 9. Scott the gambler.
Wow, nice.
Sometimes a gambler works out. I want you to think about your success, though. You rolled the dice.
Yep.
You got lucky. What are you going to do next? We'll take a break. We'll come back with more Card DeSharks. $50 on the line for Gesture Concepts Restaurants. Go see Starling in Edina. Check out the new patio of Butcher and the Boar. Back with Card DeSharks live from Target Field in just a minute here on CCM.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple, snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien, really. These gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINNELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Get in touch with Metro Plumbing for all your spring and summer plumbing needs. Find out more at metroheating.com.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life, celebrating over 16 million subscriptions sold. Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The sun's out and the fun's out at Runnings this summer. The annual bucket sale is back, and you get 15% off everything you can fit inside, even sale-priced items. Remember, the bucket is free with a $5 purchase. The bucket sale happening at all Running stores Friday and Saturday, July 18th and 19th. Shop in-store and fill your bucket with items from all departments, including clothing, pets, sporting goods, lawn and garden, tools, and more. Get 15% off everything that fits in your bucket. Some exclusions apply. The bucket sale at Runnings, now with 90 locations. Go to Runnings.com to find the store in your community.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy. And from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Let's roll with more of Jason DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, we are live at Target Field, getting ready for the Twins and the Pirates tonight. Joe Ryan on the mound for the Twins and Byron Buxton in the lineup. That was just announced up on the scoreboards here. The
Just
Twins
announced he'll be leading off for the Twins tonight. So we saw
wrist
him,
is good.
We saw him playing home run derby practice earlier. So we figured he was going to be okay. But
He hit 16 home runs while we were on the air. So
half of them in the upper tank here. So yeah, he's feeling pretty
fine.
good.
Yeah. Well, he's probably heard it. You know how these players are, but yes. We are playing Card DeSharks. We're streaming it live on the WCCO Radio Facebook page and YouTube at WCCO Radio. We'd really appreciate it if you give us a subscribe on the CCO Radio YouTube account.
Costs you nothing.
Our guy Matt takes clips from the show and creates little videos so you can kind of watch that, share it with your friends. We appreciate that. whether they make you mad or make you smile or whatever the case may be. We are playing for $50 thanks to our friends at Jester Concepts, great restaurant company. A Parlor is them, a Butcher and the Boar, Starling and Edina. Scott is on a roll. He has turned over 3 cards. Jonathan just kind of watching all this happen. But Scott, you are in a queen. You have 2 cards separating you and that $50. I don't want to assume what you want to do, but you rolled the dice on a 9 and said higher and came up right. What do you want to do on this queen, Scott from Lakeville?
Well, I'm afraid of Jonathan. He sounds like a professional, so I'm trying to roll the dice on him here. I'm going to go lower on the queen.
All right, lower than a queen on the Evan Williams bourbon cards here. It is a 5. It is lower than a queen. And now you're in a little bit of a spot. I don't know. What does the gambling man do? 1 card separating you and the victory. A 5 is a nice card, isn't it? But if you're wrong, you lose all this progress and Jonathan gets a free shot. Your choice. Scott from Lakeville. Will he run the table in one question? You're at a 5. Higher, lower, or freeze? What do you say, Scott?
I'm going to have to roll the dice, and hopefully I'll pay off, but I will go higher.
All right. For all the marbles, $50. Higher than a 5. It is an 8. It is higher than a 5, and you did it. Scott.
Nice.
Wow.
How about that? Jonathan, I'm sorry we barely got to talk to you.
You know what, Scott? Enjoy your free dinner that you probably need and have a great time. It's a quiz game. Look out for UFOs, and I love each and every one of you. Be kind to one another. And
Jonathan, just for fun, let's just flip a couple cards here. You would have started with a 2. Higher or lower?
Absolutely higher.
Higher than a 2. It is going to be higher for sure. It's an 8.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
What do you do on the 8?
Lower than an 8.
All right.
Wow, that's bold.
Lower than an 8. Ace. Well, it wasn't meant to be.
I'm a loser. I'm a great big loser. And I love you, Jason. Thank you for allowing me to play your game. And Scott, again, so lots of hot dogs because, groceries are expensive and so is gas. So there you go.
You got that right.
Yeah.
You got that right.
Have a good time, you guys.
Jonathan,
and by the way,
you.
And by the way, hang on 1 second. By the way, Joe Ryan, you're good looking, and I love you.
We'll pass the message along.
Yeah, I feel like he knows. Don't you think? I think he knows he's a good-looking guy.
He's probably too humble to say.
Stay on the line. Do you think?
I think so.
Know. Stay on the line, Scott. We'll get your information and get that gift card out to you later on.
I think Jonathan's opinion about Joe is very popular.
Joe is a good-looking man.
Many people hold that.
Now,
opinion.
is Joe Ryan one of the few men? He's got the mustache, right? Or did he get rid of the mustache?
No, he's still got a mustache, yeah. He's in a little chin music.
I feel like a baseball player can pull off a mustache, but most other people look ridiculous.
Well, I mean, you go all the way back to the salad days of Raleigh Fingers and Goose Gossage, and so there's a lot of famous facial hair in the game of baseball.
Goose Gossage.
How about that?
This is old guys talking baseball. That's what's happening here. We are at Target Field. Lots to talk about in the show coming up. I want to talk about French fries. Today is National French Fry Day. I want to hear from you about your favorite French fries. So I'd love to get those texts at 651-461-9226. When we come back, I also want to talk about the latest idea to come out of the Department of Lunacy, also known as the Minneapolis City Council. So we will talk about that when we come back here on Drive Time.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
What if WCCO had been there during the most epic events in history?
The British are coming! The British are coming!
Forsooth, our traffic reporter verily indicates a backup on the Redcoat Road through Lexington. Perchance thou shalt take an alternate route.
If it mattered, we were probably already covering it. History has always happened here. News Talk 830 WCCO.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting great candidates? Well, they're not hard to find when you go to ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. People who are actively looking for jobs like yours. So it's easy to find the right person fast. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Chad back here with you once again talking about Pella. Pella Windows and Doors, PellaNorthland.com. Yes, in a house almost 20 years with these great windows. Moving soon. Yes, the windows and doors there. How do you track them down? Go to a showroom in town, Woodbury or Plymouth. Go online, PellaNorthland.com. This deal for July. No payments, no interest. If paid in full within 24 months and $250 off per window and $500 off per door. PellaNorthland.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-9700. 800-885-9700. That's 800-885-9700.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Going to find the slowdowns of place traveling north 169s, make the run from Excelsior Boulevard, heading up to Bass Lake Road. 494 northbound slows, Bass Lake Road to the Fish Lake interchange. Southbound 35E congested has moved down from Randolph, heading down to the River Bridge, and 494 westbound heavy has moved across the Minnesota River Bridge, heading out to Cedar Avenue. Joey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Clogged gutters? Call the pros, Advantage Home Pros. With the highest quality workmanship and materials, seamless gutter installation, cleaning, and covers, our trained, knowledgeable local pros can handle it all. Trust the pros. AdvantageHomePros.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO weather. Right now, it's sticky. It's a little hot right here at Target Field. Let's get the latest from Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
We'll have air quality issues up north. This is from the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. We'll notice it in the sky here in the Twin Cities, but this weekend is going to feel so nice. Partly cloudy, a little hazy with that smoke, 82 the high tomorrow, and much less humid. We'll keep that partly cloudy sky on Sunday with a high up around 87.
Weather brought to you by Advantage Home Pros. Experience the advantage at AdvantageHomePros.com. We are watching for a little bit of rain that is headed, well, it's hard to tell if it's going to make it to the Twin Cities or not. Right now, that rain looks like it's just shy of Monticello and Buffalo, kind of working that way down Interstate 94 towards the metro. Right now, it's pretty warm, though, 85, partly cloudy on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH.
20 plus years of being a news anchor and reading teleprompters your whole career, and then somebody gives you an opportunity to just say what you really think, and you just get unhinged and you just go for it.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Well, two things out of the Twins series with the Chicago Cubs excited me. First, we won 2 out of 3, which was, I will be honest, I was a little skeptical going into that series how well it was going to work out for the Minnesota Twins. The second thing has been all of the excitement that was generated from the all-analyst former Twins players in the announcing booth on television, as our friend Corey Provis took a little vacation, and instead of replacing Corey with another play-by-play person, they tried having a bunch of ball players telling stories, sharing insight. It was Glenn Perkins, Trevor Plouffe. Who else was up there? Drew Halverson is the Twins director of broadcast. He is with us here at Target Field, senior director of broadcast for the Minnesota Twins. Who all was up there, Drew?
Yeah,
Morney. I forgot about Justin Morneau.
The main three was Justin Morneau,
who's always up there.
He is always up there.
Yeah.
He's very superstitious, so he tries to be up there around as close to 66 games as possible, which is double 33, of course.
Nice,
so,
nice.
And that played into our broadcast here this weekend as well.
And then we had a little bit of Pablo.
Yeah.
Pablo Lopez, who is injured right now, but he joined in like the second inning and never left.
Yeah.
Which is a 0% surprise because we've interviewed Pablo Lopez and you ask one question and you're like, that's our time.
Yeah. So I'm going to, the way you started. So we've been looking to kind of do this for a number of years. And all of we believe in work-life balance and trying to give people time off as much as they can. And those days have fallen on road games. And so we haven't really dove into this concept because we didn't think we'd be in a position to succeed on a road game. But what I mean by that is you have less cameras, you have less access to the ballpark. But then also you usually have a kind of with all due respect, a B team in the production truck, right?
Sure.
The home team's going to hire the best personnel, and then you get who's next with all due respect to them.
Yep.
And so a home series came up. We had talked about, should we go for it? And we decided to go for it. And, so there's the Manning cast, which is this wasn't a little bit of that, but not so much. And then the Braves had done one that I thought was a little bit better from a regional telecast standpoint. So we stole a little bit from them, but then also tried to make it our own. And because we were the first ever team to do 3 games back to back to back, we said we needed to make it different each 3 days. We can't do the same thing in 3 days. So how we made it different, as you now I'm getting to your point, Pablo Lopez, we asked him to join us for 4 innings. And he said after 4, the Twins are winning, I'm not leaving. And so they didn't leave. But he took it so seriously that
he's so good.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And he was like, he said, the only reason I'm going to do this is, only way I'm going to do this is if you get me a team polo. We had 1 left over, and he got it. And then the next day was the nature was Target Field is so different. Like where we're at right now, like watching the game here is really cool because of the way the ball comes off the bat, what the outfielders are doing. And so we wanted to lean into the different perspectives of Target Field. So Glenn Perkins started the game in the bullpen because that's what Glenn Perkins did. And actually, when he was a reliever, we actually had a segment called, I think it was like Perkins Play or something like that, where we interviewed him in the first inning in the bullpen. And then it was supposed to be 3 innings of both Plouffe and Morneau as ball boys. Morneau was worried he was going to get hurt, so he backed out. And then Plouffe only wanted to do 1 inning. And then the last third was those guys in the clubhouse talking about if they were a pinch hitter or DH, how would they get ready for the game. And then the last day, we were just leaning into the trade deadline coming up, the draft coming up, and using Terry Ryan to pull back the curtain on what a GM's mindset is for those items. So
it was really enjoyable, and the response to it has just been tremendous, don't you think?
I've been surprised by
because
it.
You don't know how people are going to like it.
No. And is it for everybody? Was it for everybody? No, it wasn't. And that's okay. We just wanted to go for it. You know, we talked about how much of a promotional plan we should put behind it. And what we decided is this is the first we're going to do it. If it's good, it's going to promote itself. If it's not good, okay.
Yeah.
So we didn't put a ton of promotion behind it. One of the analysts did do an interview with a media partner and actually said he didn't think it would work. And so I gave him a hard time about that because there was a lot of feedback afterwards. So.
Well, you sort of wonder as we talk with Drew Halverson, who is the guy behind all of the broadcasts for Twins.tv and the radio broadcasts here on the Minnesota Twins radio network. What I loved about it is it felt like you were hanging out with a bunch of guys watching a game. And you got smarter. I learned a lot. There's a lot of hijinks. It also did make me appreciate just how freaking good Corey Provis is, because I do like play-by-play. There were some moments where I was like, man, I would really like a little bit more info on like who the Cubs are, right? Like I knew what was going on with our team, but those guys also got better at it by night 3 of it. I was like, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's pretty good. And Glenn Perkins took some of the responsibility of like guiding to break. You as a broadcaster, you still need somebody to drive the bus a little bit, you know?
He like was just talking to Perk about it, him learning pretty quickly of like, okay, you know, you tease your segment going to the next one. You do a great job of that. And so, okay, Perk, as you go to break, tell us who's coming up, you know, and kind of preview. That was pretty close. Yep. And so they all kind of were picking up as they go, and it was a little choppy, but that was what it was.
That was the fun, yeah.
But to your point, saw Corey and said, "Great to see you today." So.
Right. Drew, you mentioned the Manning cast earlier, and that was one of the first things I thought of when I was watching the first night of it. Is this is a really different way to watch the game in a similar fashion to the way that the Manning cast was a very different way of watching a football game. But one of the things that I really appreciated about those 3 guys as opposed to the Manning cast. The thing that drives me nuts about the Manning cast is when they're talking over each other all the time and you can't figure out who's saying what and what they're talking about. And I know that was, you mentioned one of the players or one of the analysts was worried about that kind of issue about guys talking over each other, but they had such a natural rapport with each other that really didn't seem to happen at all.
I think the reason that happens in the Manning cast a lot is we're all in different rooms,
different satellites,
and the hand signals that go into it can't be seen. Actually, today, one of the things I asked, so the truck did this on their own because there's so many. We have so many great team members.
Yes.
They set up a booth Snoop cam, as it's called, to record the replay of the booth, just the shot of them the whole time. And I asked them today just for the raw feed of that camera because there was so much of the hand signals and stuff and talking about. It was really just fun to watch them and how they figured out who was going to talk. So that really helped us to avoid some of what you're talking about.
Drew Halverson is with us, the Senior Director of Broadcast for the Minnesota Twins. It is, these seasons are long, and trying to introduce the fun into the broadcast, the unpredictability into the broadcast. I think for me, like, watching Trevor Plouffe trip 1 million times when they brought that clip up of him falling in the, like, over the bullpen pitcher's mound
in Oakland,
in Oakland. It is a reminder that, like, this is fun. And these guys in a long season are goofing around just like anybody else would be if you were hanging out this closely for this long period of time.
Yeah, at the end of the day, we're an entertainment business. And, I watch you guys do that on your show. You got a new broadcast voice introducing your segments, and we try to do new things throughout the year as well. And you had mentioned that it felt like you were sitting on the couch watching the game with your buddies. Pablo admitted that he forgot for an inning that he was on broadcast. Joe Ryan said the same thing after he talked with the guys, and that interview got a little goofy at one point in time. I think showing some of those personalities is good every once in a while.
It's that realism, right? It's
Yeah.
that authenticity, because I noticed when Joe was doing his segment, when Joe Ryan was doing, he kept looking up at the press box.
Yeah.
You know, knowing where everything is in the field, I knew where he was looking, but he's clearly not looking at the camera like, you know, a quote unquote, as I do scare quotes, trained professional TV person would do. But I love that part of it, right? Because it was just him being authentic and goofing around with these guys.
One of the things, again, we have such a talented team, and one of the things that our guys do a really good job is building relationships. You know, we're just not reading metrics and stats on what's going to happen. Those guys start with that and then go down to the clubhouse and build these great relationships with these guys. And that really showed up over the 3 days for sure.
We noticed that too, Jason, when we were down in spring training, right? Morneau was in the clubhouse. A lot of the alumni were in the clubhouse starting, you know, in February in Fort Myers.
Yeah.
Like you said, building those kinds of relationships with guys so that it comes to fruition when you do something like this.
Yeah. And the people on our team really love baseball.
Yes.
And I sat in the truck for those 3 games with our great producer, director, and that great team. And the amount of cheering that was going on in the truck. And I was like, wow, you know, in the press box, you can't cheer at all. But here in the truck, you guys are going crazy.
It's a little more fun.
Yeah.
Pablo found that out.
Yeah.
Certainly helped to have a great series as well. Like having that dominant win the first game, I think maybe took a little bit of the pressure off too. Because it's just if it's a 1-run game or a tie game, it's maybe not as loose as it is when you had just, 8-1 or something. It was a pretty dominant win.
Right. You know, and even some of the stuff in game 3, when the score gets a little lopsided, maybe you pull back the reins a little bit on what you had planned to do.
How much planning goes on for this thing? Like for these guys, you know, are you coaching them, or is it just like, let's let it happen and see how it goes?
So Trevor Fleck, who's our main producer, and we kind of put together a plan, at least for game 1, and then we'll float things later on. We got to the 4th inning of the first game and looked at each other like we're never getting our stuff in. And you know, Dan, as a producer, you can relate to that with your talent.
Oh, I'm sure.
But,
yes.
You know, that was okay. That was what was going to be different was Pablo Lopez. And then even day 3, when we had Mr. Ryan in the booth, who was fantastic, there was some coaching that went on who was going to play what role. And then he sat down. He's such a Mr. Get the Business that he started doing, okay, this isn't what we talked about, but let's go. This is great.
When you look at this, do you think, all right, are we going to do this? You have to do it again, right? Is this a once a year type of thing? You don't want it to overstay its welcome. You know?
I don't think it is once a year. But when we'll do it again, like, let's see, we got some chips to fall and see how they fall.
Do you have to pay these guys?
To watch a baseball game and hang out? Yeah. Isn't that great?
Doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Who is the biggest pain in the butt of all of those players?
Well, I don't know. Like, there was one guy that got razzed more than everybody else.
Right.
And part of that was it was really hard to find bloopers of Justin Morneau. There's no bloopers out there of Justin Morneau. The only thing we could find was his facial hair for 1 month in his whole career.
Yes.
And then rag him on his speed on a triple. So he was the hardest to find stuff to razz him about.
Sure. You think back to the Morneau era.
Well, he was so good.
He's so good.
Yeah. And he was measured. Like, if you ever did an interview with him when he played, like, you would ask him a question, and then he would just kind of stare at you for like 15, 20 seconds. And you could tell him, like, he's really thinking about what you asked him and how he processes it, and then give you an answer. And I just always enjoyed that about him. But because of that, he didn't not a lot of errors, not a lot of bloopers you could pull from.
Anything special for tonight? Big pitching matchup. You got Nelly tonight. Is it just all Nelly music the whole show? No, we can't afford that license.
Well,
come on.
Yeah. I wish we could play more mainstream music in our broadcasts.
Yeah. We know how that goes.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, it doesn't stop there. So one particular fan that tweets us that all the time. Play more replacements. We see you. We hear you. We wish we could. I mean, we were just in the clubhouse talking about the big pitching matchup. So Cody Clemens talking about from a perspective of his dad always being a part of big pitching matchups. Then talked to Simeon about, as a pitcher, what would you watch here for today? So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a good game.
We hope so.
Yeah.
It was really fun. Nice to get a little bit of insight as to how it came together, too.
Yeah,
so.
Thank you for having us on. And, you know, I told us to meet in it, too. Almost everything that we did last week, we experimented with our radio broadcast first.
Yeah.
And so if you've seen something unique on radio, then that's probably we're testing. So
yeah. They're doing a great job too. I went from watching the TV broadcast to sitting outside, having a drink. It was like this week was just summer. Sit outside, listen to the radio. It was so great.
Well, I follow your feed, and you do what I like to do sometimes is watch the TV and sync up the radio.
Yes.
But then even you can sync up their Spanish radio with that as well. So it's kind of fun to get the different flavors with the visuals. So
it's been good. Drew Halverson from the Twins broadcast team. Thanks, Drew. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
it is
Ernie.
4:48. You're going to hear that big voice guy that Drew talked about. Our new voice guy.
Yeah.
I'm such a broadcast nerd. I love this stuff. So.
Well, I just feel bad because he has such better pipes than all of us.
Yeah, well, speak for yourself. Drive Time coming back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I want to learn how to cook, but I keep ordering takeout.
I plan to rearrange my closet, but I stopped after picking the clothes up off the floor.
Accomplishing goals is hard, but when your goal is to learn a new language, Babbel makes it easy. In just 15 minutes a day, Babbel's award-winning language learning app will help you start speaking another language. Start having conversations in as little as 3 weeks.
Comment tu t'appelles? Comment tu t'appelles? Vous êtes où?
Vous êtes où?
Babbel's bite-sized lessons make it easy to learn words and phrases you'll actually use. So when someone asks,
"How's your French going?"
you can say,
Babbel est amusant et facilite grandement l'apprentissage d'une nouvelle langue. Et cela ne prend que 15 minutes par jour.
when you want to really learn another language, it starts with Babbel. Babbel, language for life, celebrating over 16 million subscriptions sold. Now save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textingterms.us. Texting enrolls you for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply or play. Stop, opt out. Terms and conditions apply to the earnings promotion.
Do you have caregiving experience as a parent, teacher, nanny, coach, or in another similar role? Hop Skip Drive is looking for experienced caregivers who want to help students in their community by driving them to and from school. Earn up to $50 per ride with Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion, all while helping your community. If you have your own vehicle that is no more than 10 years old, a clean driving record, and at least 5 years of caregiving experience, you could become a Hop Skip Drive care driver. Just text KID to 323232 to get started right now. Hop Skip Drive gives you the flexibility to set your own schedule and earn competitive pay. It's simple. Drive in your free time and make a real difference for students right in your neighborhood. Don't wait. Text KID to 323232 right now. Text KID to 323232 and start earning up to $50 per ride during Hop Skip Drive's welcome promotion period. That's KID to 323232. Text KID to 323232 now.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aids.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Thielen Meats of Pierce is where tradition meets taste.
Family grown, employee owned. We've mastered the art of meat.
That's why we're the #1 meat market in Minnesota.
And we're located right here in Pierce.
Check out our mouthwatering selection at thielenmeats.com.
Better yet, stop in and see for yourself. We're serving up love one cut at a time.
Thielen Meats, from our family to your feast.
No meals complete without Thielen Meats
of Pierce.
612 Saturdays are back at Target Field. Enjoy $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food when gates open.
I'm from the 952. Can I enjoy 612 Saturdays?
The 952 is welcome.
I'm from the 218.
218, 651. Everyone is welcome at 612 Saturdays.
I'm from the 313. How about me?
That's Detroit.
Yeah.
Sure. Enjoy the weekend wind-up with 612 Saturdays presented by Carbliss. $6 drinks, $1 snacks, and $2 food. When we're together, the Twins rise as one. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Problems on 35W southbound there. You have 50th Street crash with injuries. Left lane is shut down. Emergency vehicles on the scene. Your slowdowns in place as you come down from Lake Street. If you're traveling north 100, got your slowdowns there. County Road 81, heading up to 94. 694 westbound, slow and go Highway 10, heading out to Highway 252. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha here. The Canopy Group represents 16 different insurance companies, not just one. They give you options. Each year, they'll review your program so you don't have to, making sure you get the best coverage at the best price. Do like I did. Go to thecanopygroup.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast brought to you by the Canopy Group. Chris Schaefer saying some scattered showers tonight, and we see on live radar those storms moving towards the St. Cloud area, working perhaps towards the Twin Cities. We're sort of the metro in between two rain systems. And so hopefully it'll dodge us tonight. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, less humid, little smoky, high of 82. Sunday, 87. Right now it's 84 and cloudy on CCO.
DeRusha now returns on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's National French Fry Day, and I asked you to text in at 651-461-9226 your favorite French fries. And this is a big McDonald's day today.
Yes.
Have you, because Dan, you're a McDonald's guy, right?
Very much so, yes.
So I almost went to McDonald's today to get the snack wrap, snack wrap.
Sure.
That is the thing that people are losing their minds over. And I'm like, why? But the snack wrap has been gone for 10 years. And everyone, it showed up back on the menu yesterday.
Oh.
So like people are doing their reviews. It's like snack wraps. They're like $3 and you get a spicy or a ranch. And it's just like, it's like a tortilla. It's like a wrap.
Yeah.
Now, normally I would say wraps. I'm kind of out on the wrap.
Me too.
I think the wrap is the worst sandwich available. You take a tortilla, you make it soggy, you shove some stuff in it. You know what? How about a bun? How about some bread? What are we doing?
If you've made the decision to go to McDonald's, let's not worry about, well, how can I be maybe a little bit healthier here? Just go ahead and have the burger.
You're at McDonald's.
Have the chicken nuggets, have the fries.
And it's good. It's already good.
Have the Diet Coke if you want to try and think you're somehow being healthy, whatever.
But the McDonald's Diet Coke is next level.
It isn't so go good. To how can I be healthy going to McDonald's?
Stupid.
It's I'll go there once in a while, and that's how you do health.
Food reviews and fun things on YouTube saying I love McDonald's.
They're the best fries in all of fast food, and it's not close.
Well, a texter, a 651er, says I like the Cajun fries at Five Guys. I do think Five Guys has tremendous French fries. But they put them in a big old bag. You get a huge serving, almost too much.
Yeah.
Because then they get, when you first have it, you're like, this is like a state fair quality fresh French fry. And then it's like sog fast.
Fresh cut fries are hard because you get soggy and mushy real fast. And then I'm out on them. The fresh cut fries at the state fair somehow managed to do it and keep them, maybe it's just because they're fresh, but man, keep them from getting mushy.
Right.
They're great.
They're triple fried. So it's like three temperatures. So they cook it from the inside out. So you get a crispy layer on the outside that keeps it from soggy.
I did not know that. And that's what I didn't anticipate learning today.
You're welcome.
Right here on Drive Time with Rush.
You never know what you're going to learn. It's usually useless, but you'll learn something. Chick-fil-A fries. Awesome, says the texter. Truffle fries at Crave. I'm not a big truffle guy.
No.
It's such a dominant flavor. I don't mind fresh truffles. If I'm going to be super snobby, fresh truffles cost like $40 an ounce. It's crazy. But the truffle oil is so like, woof. I'm eating a bowl full of truffle. Another texter says Red Robin. The French fries at Red Robin. Those are pretty good. Very good. Thanks, everybody. News is next.
Broadcasting from the Flatibow Studios, this is News Talk 830 WCCO. If you're looking to buy or sell farmland, you need Flatibow Land. For the latest auctions, listings, appraisals, and consulting, visit flatibowland.com.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien, really. These gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
The headlines, the context, the impact. News Talk 830 WCCO, 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
The First Lady met with first responders as they toured a massive debris field left in the path of the flooding.
I've never seen anything like it. A little narrow river that becomes a monster, and that's what happened.
They also took time to sit down with some of the families of those killed.
Our nation, we mourn for every single life that was swept away in the flood, and we pray for the families.
We are grieving with you. Our nation is grieving with you.
There have been some worries about cuts to FEMA delaying relief efforts. Governor Greg Abbott.
Your commitment to Texas, I know you love Texas, and Texas loves you. We appreciate you showing up, and because of your swift and effective response, we're better positioned to deliver on all those commitments than ever before.
Federal immigration authorities say they've arrested about 200 illegal immigrants during raids on 2 California farm sites, including a cannabis farm. Reporter Tina Patel.
Federal agents believe there were undocumented workers here, and from SkyCal, it looks like they detained dozens of people. According to Customs and Border Protection, 10 were undocumented minors, 8 of those unaccompanied. So the facility is now going to be investigated for child labor violations.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass signed a directive today aimed at strengthening protections for immigrant communities after what she called chaotic federal raids.
I mean, this is about provoking fear and terror in our city. This is about demonstrating to Los Angeles that we're the federal government and we can come in and do whatever we want, whenever we want, wherever we want.
The State Department is firing over 1,300 employees in a huge reorganization. Many were applauded as they left the building today. The cuts have been criticized by current and former diplomats who say it will weaken U.S. influence abroad. We've long heard about the dangers of too many saturated fats, but Alexander Tin reports the guidance could be changing.
In a recent interview with News Nation, FDA Commissioner Dr. Martin McCary suggested that this year's edition of the influential federal nutrition guidelines may drop a long-standing recommendation for Americans to limit their consumption of saturated fats, telling the outlet that instead, quote, there's nothing wrong with natural saturated fats for the vast majority of Americans.
On Wall Street, stocks finished lower today over tariff concerns. The Dow Jones Industrials were down 279 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 84 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. St. Paul police confirming officers were involved in a shooting early this afternoon at a Cub food store near Maryland Avenue and Clarence Street in the city's Phelan neighborhood. 2 people were wounded. Witnesses also report a suspect was being chased by police and fired at officers. No police were injured. The case has been turned over to the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension for investigation. Manny Collins' mother breaking her silence today for the first time since the boy's father was charged in his death.
Manny's mother, Ashley Berry, recalling her son as a loving and family-oriented kid, saying she ultimately hopes justice can be served in the case against Manny's father.
I never saw them signs. I've been knowing this guy since I was 14 years old, and I'm going to try to get him a little benefit of the doubt. He loved his son. I let him live out in California with them for years. He picked them up from my house and dropped them back off. There was never no signs, because if it was, I would have never let him go over there.
Jordan Collins Sr. has been charged with 1 count of second-degree murder. He was arrested on Monday and is currently being held at the Anoka County Jail on a $2 million bond. In St. Paul, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830. WCCO.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz has set the date for a special election to fill the Minnesota House vacancy left by the death of Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman.
That special election will happen September 16th with a special primary election on Tuesday, August 12th, if necessary. WCCO radio political analyst Blois Olson.
I think the issues of the day will be about who can carry on her legacy and who could possibly, kind of represent what Democrats are trying to find as their new lane against the Trump administration.
Republicans, meanwhile, will likely look to push back against the DFL agenda and Governor Tim Walz.
This is a seat that Melissa Hortman had to run for 3 times. So when she finally got elected, it was a flip of a Republican seat from a Democratic seat. And that shows the way in which parts of the suburbs have shifted.
Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
It is another weekend of significant Twin Cities freeway closures. In addition to 6 miles of 694 westbound, highly used stretches of Interstates 94 and 35E will also be shutting down for bridge repair and painting. Those closures start at 10 o'clock tonight. It's been a while since we've had an air quality alert to talk about, but that's changing. The Minnesota Pollution Control Agency is now including all of the state in the alert for unhealthy air through 9 a.m. Monday morning. The heaviest smoke expected to be in the northern half of the state. Starting in 1985, the USA Cup Youth Soccer Tournament in Blaine has grown into the largest event of its kind in the Western Hemisphere.
Soccer overall may lag behind the other 4 major sports in the country, but here in Minnesota, it's a teams from 18 countries, 27 states, 17,000 players, and tons of fans. Marketing and Communications Officer Sarah Soley.
There's probably 1 to 2 fans per player on average. So you just, you do the math and it gets pretty big fast.
Don't tell me everyone is staying in Blaine.
No, Blaine definitely cannot accommodate all these people.
In other words, the entire metro benefits from this tournament. Ari Bergeron, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Crash still working South 35W. This update brought to you by Anoka Riverfest and Craft Fair. South 35W at 50th Street is where you'll find the activity off to the left shoulder. Left lane's been reopened, but it is still slow as you come down from Lake Street. If you're going to be traveling along 169 southbound, that's jammed up 494 down to 101. Cedar South, slow Old Shockley Road to Highway 13. It's the 26th annual Anoka Riverfest and Craft Fair presented by the Sorensens of Insurance Brokers of Minnesota. Incredible crafters, artists, and lots of food, free admission and free parking Saturday, July 12th in historic downtown Anoka. Visit AnokaRiverFest.org. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms will linger into the overnight, falling back to 68. Tomorrow will feel so much more refreshing. Partly cloudy, not humid, bit of a breeze from the northwest, 82 the afternoon high, and you will notice the smoke in the sky. The air quality will be at its worst up across parts of northern Minnesota. Sunday, partly cloudy and 87. Sunshine, 88 on Monday with rain back in play next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mostly cloudy right now, 84 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
The news you need, the talk you want, from the voices you know and care about. News Talk 830 WCCO.
No suit, no tie, just DeRusha. It's drive time. Live from the WCCO studios, high atop the Odyssey Tower.
You're watching the cool, brainwashing 12-year-old and younger station that hides behind a slick image. We're so cool that we decide what's cool. And now, here's your host,
Jason DeRusha.
All right, we are live at Target Field. The gates are open. It's Friday night. You can feel the energy as people are looking forward to an amazing pitching matchup tonight. Chance to see Paul Skeens from the Pirates. And, of course, Joe Ryan on the mound for the Minnesota Twins. Joe's start got moved up today, so he'll be ready for the All-Star game as he was added to that All-Star roster for the American League. So pretty cool opportunity for Twins fans tonight to see, really, Dan, one of the best pitching duels, at least you would expect. On paper, this should be a heck of a matchup.
On paper, this is the best pitching matchup in all of Major League Baseball tonight. And there's a great story by Dan Hayes who will be joining us in about a half hour about the fact that the Twins actually moved Joe Ryan's start to Friday before he had been added to the roster, specifically to allow for him to be added to the roster, to sort of encourage it to happen, so that when somebody went down, he was right there ready to go. Cool. And as it happened, it worked out. It's really, really cool.
And you get this, which is
a tremendous all-stars. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think no shame if you want to come down to this game tonight just to get a chance to see Paul Skeens,
without question,
who is a physical force of nature as well.
He's a large human being.
Indeed. And we have a note about his girlfriend coming up in the page 2 of the DeRUSH Hour News Headlines. Why don't we do the lead right now? All right, our first story in the DeRUSH Hour News Headlines, the lead, is a late-breaking story from the Minneapolis City Council, which has decided they have a brand new way to tell anybody with money to move anywhere else. The Minneapolis City Council voted 10-0 to explore ways to tax the rich. Because if you have a lot of money and you live in Minneapolis, you feel so loved and so welcomed as it is. Minneapolis City Council looking for ways to tax the wealthiest residents, the wealthiest businesses. Council members framing the idea in their meeting yesterday as a bit of a clapback, is what the Minnesota Star Tribune says, a clapback to the beautiful bill approved by Congress, the Trump bill. The difficulty in taxing the rich is well known when it comes to cities. So the council vice president, Aisha Chugtai, saying taxing the rich, I don't think is a controversial opinion in Minneapolis. Aaron Chowder is saying we need wealth distribution in our country and our federal government isn't going to do it. So right now, the state legislature has not given cities the ability to have their own city income tax. But that's what this kind of studying effort is going to do. Will they jack up property taxes on the most valuable homes? What will they do? Could they have a city income tax? Will people immediately move to Edina and Wayzata and North Oaks? I would think so, but we shall see. Next up, get ready to come back to work if you are one of the commercial unit employees in Target, and by come back to work, I mean come back to the office. Remote work and hybrid work has been a way of life for most Target corporate headquarters employees since the pandemic. But over the last couple of months, more people have been called back. This probably affects someone you know, as so many Minnesotans work for Target in the commercial unit. And one of my friends who works for Target texted me today and told me that I could rub it into her because I've been asking for this for a long time. 3 days a week is what the request is there. It's likely thousands of people who will be called back to work. U.S. Bank, XL Energy, Ameriprise, all have called people back to the office at a larger rate. 3M earlier this week said they're calling workers back starting in September, 4 days a week. The reality is this city, downtown Minneapolis, it's a corporate city, and that corporation is Target. So this will be a major change in the city of Minneapolis. Next up in the lead is our weekend of construction. Before you go anywhere this weekend, you're going to want to listen to what our friend Jerry Peterson has to say, who joins us on the lead to talk a little bit about one project that we were joking around about yesterday, JP, was the mega maintenance.
Coming this weekend, mega maintenance.
But mega maintenance up on 694 is only one. How many projects are there? 4 different projects?
Yeah, there's 3 weekend closures to be aware of, and the one we're referring to, the mega maintenance one, is 694 westbound 35W over to Shingle Creek Parkway. That will be closed. All 3 projects start at 10 o'clock tonight, continue to 5 o'clock Monday morning. So the West 694 on the north side, that detour will run you up to 610. So that's going to take some extra time, definitely, just to get around on the alternate route there. As you head towards St. Paul, East 94, closed 280 to 35E. And then 35E northbound is going to be closed 494 heading up into downtown St. Paul. So the North 35E alternate will take you over to Highway 52. 61 certainly can help you out, but the posted detour takes you to 52. Posted detour for East 94 takes you up to Highway 36.
So I should probably just stay home this weekend? Is that the energy you're putting out there?
No, that's not the energy I would put out there. just plan extra time. Far be it for me to tell you not to do something.
No. You should come
just give
to
yourself some extra time.
It'll take a little extra time, and the detour. And if you're one of these people who thinks you're smarter than your GPS, this might be a good weekend to trust the GPS if it sends you on a bit of a diversion. That's not the worst idea out there. Hey, texters are
GPS. Find out who's going to be right.
Texters are worried about your voice, JP. How are you feeling?
I'm doing okay, thank you.
All right.
Just a little bit of cold virus thing that's happening.
I know this. It's the worst in the summer because it feels like it shouldn't be happening. But every summer I get one of those too. It's very annoying. You're a trooper to power through. Thanks for joining us with a little insight on the lead.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Jerry Peterson. He's trying to warn you. You guys got to listen. That's for sure. One more item in the DeRUSH Hour news headlines, and this is a question about the Department of Justice that is investigating Minnesota again. And in fact, this afternoon, there was another announcement of the Department of Justice looking into the voter registration and the voter roll. The federal government is on Minnesota's butt. It is nonstop investigation. We spoke a little earlier today with Peter Larson, who's an assistant professor of law at Mitchell-Hamlin, about the Department of Justice investigation into the way the government hires people. The DOJ saying that Minnesota is discriminating based on race and sex because they are favoring everyone who isn't a white guy. We talked to Peter Larson as to whether Peter thinks the federal government, do you think they have a case, Peter?
I don't think that they have much of a case, frankly.
The state clearly is trying to make sure that the hiring process is being fair to underrepresented groups. The question is,
correct,
is that by its nature unfair to a white person, essentially?
Well, there are a couple of things that I would say in response to that. One is just interestingly enough, looking at the history of affirmative action. When affirmative action came about, the primary beneficiary of that policy were white women who had traditionally been excluded from all male workplaces. Over time, that's been expanded to people with disabilities, people in different racial minorities, that sort of thing. And Minnesota's current policy includes all of those groups. What the current practice is, in hiring processes for which we have data about what the workforce looks like in a particular geographic area and within a particular industry, if we're hiring fewer people within those groups than are typically found both within that geographic region and within that industry, then you're supposed to make sure that you're giving interviews to at least 3 qualified candidates who would fall into those protected classes: gender, race, disability. If you end up hiring somebody who doesn't fall within one of those groups, even after interviewing folks who would be qualified but within those protected classes, then it just directs the hiring manager to inform the HR representative about that hiring decision and to let them know the reasons why they wouldn't be going with these qualified people who would be within those protected classes.
And I think to me, Peter, the issue that jumps out is just that. It's one thing to say, like, all right, you've got to make sure you interview a broad group of people. But the fact that you have to provide justification for hiring a non-diverse candidate, to me, feels a little bit like you're putting a little pressure on here that says, don't hire the white guy.
And I think certainly that's what the DOJ's position is. Even though the DOJ has, sort of positioned this as a newer rule, Minnesota has been engaged in this sort of practice since the late 80s. I think 1987 was the first time that they started introducing some of these restrictions around hiring. At the end of the day, when you're looking at this from an employment law perspective, it's not directing you as an employer not to hire white people. It's just simply trying to ensure that there isn't discrimination in positions where there would typically be underrepresentation.
Again, I'm not crying tears for the white guy, right? But I also think we can't discriminate against people on the basis of race or sex, and it becomes tricky.
Absolutely. I agree with you. If you get to be prescriptive enough that you're trying to provide quotas, so if you're saying you have to hire, people who are within these protected groups, generally a policy like that would not meet scrutiny. But something like we're talking about here that's been practiced in Minnesota for 30 years, something like that generally would be upheld because it's just trying to make sure that qualified applicants are getting the interviews and that you aren't just overlooking them.
Peter Larson from Mitchell Hamlin. Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
That is the DeRUSH Hour News headlines, the lead. We're going to do page 2 in just a minute. Her boyfriend is pitching tonight, but she's still not good enough for a New York City apartment building. Plus, a Duluth City Council member banned from a coffee shop. What did she do? We'll talk about that when we come back live from Target Field. We are about an hour and 40 minutes away from first pitch. The Twins and the Pirates. You can hear all of the action right here live on CCO. Drive Time, back in a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Jason here with a question for you. Are you in a situation where you need to sell your house and you need to sell it quickly? The conventional way of selling a home is stressful. It is time consuming and it is uncertain. Right now, we have no idea what's going to be happening in the real estate market and the interest rate market. So why would you do it the old way? Go to my friend Chris Lindahl's website, chrislindahl.com. The guaranteed cash offer is a guarantee in a time where nothing's guaranteed. If you are trying to sell your home quickly, you don't know if the buyer's going to flake out, if their financing's going to fall through, if they're going to be mad in the inspection, blah, 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 a million things. And then if you have a house that you have to put on the market right now, are you stressed about like, oh, I got to update this, I got to fix that, I have to do that? Chris Lindahl will do all of the work for you. Go to chrislindahl.com right now. You can get a guaranteed cash offer, and he does everything. You pick the closing date. You pick the moving date. You are in control. You introduce certainty into an uncertain world. Why would you do it any other way? Get to chrislindahl.com today. Say yes to the guaranteed cash offer and start packing. Terms and conditions may apply.
July 21st through the 27th, the 3M Open returns to TPC Twin Cities for golf's Northern Swing. The most fun you can have on a golf course. Watch big PGA Tour stars or take in the food and fun at Fan Village. Or do both. Tickets for the 3M Open are available now, including passes to the Stilly Party Deck experience. The spot for music, games, food, and all-you-can-drink Stilly. Great golf and a great time. The 3M Open, golf's Northern Swing. Purchase tickets today at 3mopen.com. That's the number 3, the letter M, open.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Chad back here with you on CCO. Once again, proud to discuss Aquarius Home Services. Track them down, AquariusHomeservices.com. Yes, I love my Connecticut drinking water system. The whole family uses it on a regular basis, but they're a one-stop shop. If you have challenges, electrical, air conditioning, plumbing and drains, they will get it done. I love them. I've trusted them since the early 90s. You track them down. AquariusHomeservices.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-352-9239. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-352-9239. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-352-9239, 800-352-9239, or biglou.com.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH.
I don't like the funny stuff. And I know what you're thinking. I'm familiar with your show. You clearly don't like the funny stuff.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRUSH Hour News Headlines coming at you live from Target Field on a beautiful Saturday. If you don't have tickets, come down here. It's a beautiful Friday night. Get to the ballpark. It is sunny, summer, beautiful, and about 90% of the young men walking by us here in the outfield, you hear some sort of reference to Livy.
Yes.
That is because her boyfriend is pitching tonight for Pittsburgh. She is worth millions. She has 8 million TikTok followers, and she's still not good enough for a New York apartment building.
Guys, I'm so upset. So a few months ago, I decided I was going to make my first real estate purchase, which is so exciting, and I was going to get an apartment in New York City. But the gag was, it was Babe Ruth's apartment. I wanted this apartment bad. Like, it got to the point where the realtor was so confident. Then the week that I'm supposed to get my keys to my brand new apartment, I get a call. The co-op board denied me. So pretty much the people in the building voted to not have me live there.
Ouch. That hurts. Livy Dunn telling her story on TikTok. New York Times writing that New York City co-op boards can be notoriously difficult to get past. Being rich and successful is not enough. Madonna, Mariah Carey, Calvin Klein, Alfred Vanderbilt Jr. have all been rejected. Livy was trying to buy Babe Ruth's former apartment Would have been her first real estate purchase. You heard her say she and Paul Skeens visited. They met in college. She made millions through endorsements. He makes millions as an all-star. But the co-op board is like its own independent government, and they have more power than even like your typical HOA or condo board, so they can turn down anybody. Real estate experts saying sometimes fame is a red flag because the building does not want a lot of commotion. A state legislator's theft trial will finally start on Monday. The long-awaited felony burglary trial of Senator Nicole Mitchell from Woodbury starts Monday. It was delayed last month because of the assassination of Melissa Hortman, the attempted assassination of Mitchell's colleague, Senator John Hoffman. This thing is probably going to be messy, playing out like a messy family drama beginning Monday with jury selection in Detroit Lakes. A Duluth City Council member banned from a coffee shop because...
No soup for you.
No, that's right. No soup for you. Star Tribune reporting that the city council president is banned from one of my favorite coffee shops in Duluth, which what a loss for her. She can't go to Duluth Coffee Company anymore. The city council president, Therese Tamanik, got into it with an employee. So this employee, this guy, Brandon Parker, ran for city council. He's like a rabble rouser. Right? He's got political opinions. He's at city council meetings. He's running for office, all of that stuff. So the city council president is like, I'm so ticked at this dude who works at a coffee shop. I'm going to go to his workplace and give him a piece of my mind. The owner of the coffee shop sent a letter to the mayor, to Therese Tomanek, and is like, you're out. Tomanek has said she apologized for bringing up an issue at his workplace. We aren't in the we're going to move our teams out of Minnesota zone, but we may be in the middle of a we're going to move to the suburbs part of the chat.
Mama, if that's moving up, then
Moving out, Joe Nelson and Bring Me the News writing about a Grand Casino Arena, the former ex, asking this, is there a scenario where the Minnesota Wild move out of St. Paul if they don't renovate the Grand Casino Arena? And Michael Russo in a chat at theathletic.com says, all right, well, the Wild, like, they hate to talk about this, but the Wild have a couple of options here. If Alex Rodriguez and Mark Lowry build a new arena in Minneapolis, the Wild theoretically could become a tenant of that arena. Charlie Walters in the Pioneer Press is reporting that when the Timberwolves look at where they might want to go, Egan as part of the Vikings complex is in the conversation. Bloomington next to the Mall of America is part of the conversation as well. I don't want these teams in the suburbs. I want them in the city. The Wild need to be in St. Paul. So let's get it together. 5:31. Dan Hayes is sitting right next to me. We're going to talk about the Minnesota Twins. He's got two articles in The Athletic that I want to talk about. One involves Joe Ryan, and one involves the all-analyst booth that the Twins had on TV last week. Twins Talk, live from Target Field, coming up next on CC.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
You already talk at the radio. Why not talk on it?
Oh, Jordana, come on.
Hit that voice message button on the Odyssey app and make your case passionately.
Throw the book at him.
Politely.
You liberals that push this agenda.
Or passive aggressively.
Must be nice to have time for protesting. Some of us have to work.
When you don't have the time or the nerves to call in live, record your voice message on the Odyssey app.
Jason, Andrew here.
And let your voice be part of Minnesota's conversation on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius or two have geniuses and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
New month, new flavors. Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. I'm talking about those Sleep Night gummies. I know you love them, and they even have a new and improved Sleep Night gummy. But here's a twist. They got some new flavors. So, better sleep and some yummy new flavors. Great grape, green apple, snooze, and mellow mango in the nighttime blend. And of course, everybody loves the peaceful pineapple. That still exists in those Sleep Night gummies. Better sleep is the way to a better you. Mini Leaf can make that happen. I give these out to friends all the time. I recommend them for anybody who's having sleep troubles. You guys know they help me get off my Ambien, really. These gummies help me get off a pharmaceutical. I hope they will do wonders for you. Here's how you get them. Minileaf.com. MINNELEAF.com.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1 day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's four walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-408-4040. That's 800-408-4040. 800-408-4040.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Getting word of a crash north 35W near Lake Street. Use caution. Got the slowdowns in place past 46th Street. South 35W near 50th Street. The accident there has been taken care of. Traffic loosened quickly here on light level speeds at the posted. Crosstown eastbound, some slowing Gleason all the way over to Cedar Avenue. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Heavy rain showers in the metro area, at least working towards the metro. Let's get the latest from Chris Schaefer.
We'll have air quality issues up north. This is from the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. We'll notice it in the sky here in the Twin Cities, but this weekend is going to feel so nice. Partly cloudy, a little hazy with that smoke, 82 the high tomorrow, and much less humid. We'll keep that partly cloudy sky on Sunday with a high up around 87.
You're seeing live radar. If you're watching us on the YouTube stream right now, it is steamy 84 at Target Field on CCO.
Drive time continues on the roads and on your radio. News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, Dan Hayes is with us out here at Target Field. You hear a lot of noise out here as the bleachers are full during batting practice.
Nice day.
It's a beautiful day out here. We are ready for a great pitching duel. But I want to talk a little bit about Byron Buxton because we were here live on the air talking to Jeremy Zoll as Buck was taking that cage-free batting practice to get ready for the All-Star. They were blasting for the Home Run Derby, blasting the music. It was pretty great.
You know, what's funny is Byron's not a guy that hits outside batting practice very much. So he's taking some extra practice right now because of that. Like he likes to do indoor work in the cage. He gets a lot more effective work off of the machines in there. And so
instead of a live pitcher or whatever.
And so he's out here and Tommy Watkins, and they're trying to get their rapport down because as much as Tommy throws batting practice, Byron doesn't take it all that often. So
and there's an art to it because you're trying to throw to get a home run.
You have to throw a gopher ball, essentially. You got to get really good at that. And that is a skill. And that's why sometimes you'll see these guys, they'll struggle because their pitcher's not on. It's a two-man team.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Dan Hayes is with us from The Athletic. A lot of what we're hearing is the sort of the begging that happens. The crowd trying to get a ball. We did get we have a Buxton home run ball.
Wow.
He hit, 15 to 18, something like that, right, Dan, during the batting, during the 3-minute drill they were sort of doing.
It seemed like half of them were in the upper tank too. So
and they weren't even on pace. So that was a good sign considering he is back in the lineup at leadoff.
2 days ago, everybody holds their breath once again, just because the injury history. You know, I remember maybe it was in 2021 where he had a broken hamate bone and he missed 2 months with it. And the good thing about breaking the hamate bone the first time, it's gone. You don't worry about it anymore after that. But he certainly is a guy with the history, and you're wondering. And he said it the other night that he was good. There was some swelling. There was, he's dealing with it and treatment, but he was going to be fine. And it's going to take a lot to keep him out of that home run derby. He wants to be in it. His son wants him to be in it more than anything. I'm actually getting to write about that for Monday. We're doing a derby preview. He got to coach his son's team this offseason. First time he's done that because he was healthy.
Yeah.
And he said it brought a new, a little extra light to him and helped him get back some of his love for baseball.
The story about his son is so sweet because his son, like every kid, plays MLB The Show.
Yep.
And there is like a little home run derby game in there, right?
There is. And he wants to bring him a Gatorade and bring him a
Gatorade
towel.
and towel, just like
he
in the
sees
video
the other
game.
kids doing that. It's so great. Byron really wanted. They've had their third son since the last time he was at the All-Star game. He really wanted to do it. And if you guys remember that last All-Star game, he was a star. He hit the big home run.
Should have been MVP of the game.
He should have been MVP. Stanton's pretty awesome too. So, but Byron had
who hit the winning run.
Yeah, come on. He was Rob.
Hey, this guy is super talented. There's a reason why he was picked where he was.
Yes.
And he gets to showcase himself, and it should be fun. It's at home. His friends and family are going to be there. So
Pretty
it should
cool.
be a very cool event.
Our other All-Star is on the mound tonight,
Yes.
Joe Ryan. And you wrote what I had a very interesting nugget at The Athletic talking about why Joe Ryan is pitching tonight.
Yeah, Rocco came through. And actually, that was Aaron Gleeman.
That was Aaron.
But Rocco came through. He knew that Joe Ryan pitching on Saturday would have meant that he probably wouldn't have got to pitch in the All-Star game because when you throw Saturday, you're not fresh. Teams don't want their guys throwing on 2 days like that. So he reached out, and this wasn't written in the story, but Rocco reached out to people at the league and said, hey, we would move Joe to Friday because they knew he was high on the list of guys that didn't get in.
Right.
And so Rocco reached out. Rocco really fights for his players. I remember before he came to the team, Blake Snell kind of got snubbed in the worst way off Tampa Bay. And Rocco did this impassioned, long kind of rant on Twitter about how Snell deserved it, and Snell got in eventually. But Rocco really goes to bat for his players. He knows what it means for Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan was very disappointed last year when he didn't get in. He was disappointed the year before that, but I think he thought he deserved it last year. So Rocco went out of his way, reached out and said, Joe will pitch Friday if it'll get him in. And lo and behold, he got accepted to the All-Star game.
It is an interesting thing where, as we talk with Dan Hayes, who writes at The Athletic and theathletic.com, there's no doubt that like Joe Ryan deserves to be in the All-Star game. And like all of the other pitchers who are in the All-Star game deserve to be there as well. Like at the very top tier this season, especially in Major League
really
Baseball,
good.
It's really good.
Yes, it is a crowded house. They knew that. I think a lot of people pointed to Brian Wu of Seattle getting in over him. Joe has better numbers. Seattle's a better team. And they have great fan support.
Just be real, yeah.
Yeah, and I think that probably played into the decision. But also, it is player voting. That's what gets those guys in. So Brian Wu, but Joe Ryan was the next guy on the list because he was the next guy invited. He was the first American League replacement pitcher. And the thing is, once you get there, guys remember you, and it's a lot easier to get in once you get there.
You wrote a story that I thought was really great, sharing some insight into the all-player broadcast, the all-analyst broadcast. You did the homework. I wondered how you were going to write about this because you're here watching the game. Dan and I are going back and forth between the radio and the TV, and it was a lot of fun. What did you think when you went back and listened to it?
It really was fun. And it's funny, when I used to work in Chicago, I worked at NBCSN, and I did talkbacks, and I was the digital reporter on air. And my crew, who did White Sox games, now works for the Cubs and is marquee. So I went out with them and got waters on Tuesday night, post-game waters.
As you do.
We were hanging out, and they were talking about it and how the Braves had done it before. And so it gave me some actual background into what really goes into this. And I used that platform to kind of talk to all the guys. And it was so much fun. One, it was fun talking to them, but it was fun seeing them execute what they wanted to do. Having Trevor Plouffe go out and be a ball boy in the 6th inning and then giving him that ridiculous helmet they wore. He looked like Rick Moranis in Spaceballs with the oversized helmet. But they were queued up, and the guys in the booth did not have any clue that they had this kind of highlight of Plouffe eating it when he ran over the bullpen mound in Oakland. And so they play this, and Morneau and Perkins have zero idea it's coming, and their reactions were so natural. They were just giggling. So it felt like it was a great mix of guys ragging on each other, which is what baseball players do. Also, going into the batting cage, showing you what that looks like, taking fans behind the scenes. And then the Pablo Lopez on Tuesday night was just incredible. Listening to him break down the game and talking through how he would pitch a guy and all that. That's stuff fans don't get to see. So I think for 3 days it was great. I want Corey Provis back. I love Corey Provis and his dulcet tones leading us through the game. But for 3 days, it's a lot of fun, and I think the fans really responded well to it.
The word that keeps going through my mind, or kept going through my mind as I watched those broadcasts, was authenticity. That it was the guys being themselves. It wasn't, even though each night the different guys sort of took turns being the guy to get him in and out of break and to do all those technical things. It didn't feel forced. It didn't feel inauthentic. It just felt like here's these three guys talking about a game, and that's I think what fans really responded to. There's
several things that go into that. I think one, they're all experienced. They've been doing radio. Perk's been doing radio, a little bit of TV, and Morneau and Plouffe are used to the TV side. The second part is these guys are all really good at that. They're when Perkins is in the booth talking pitching, you're listening. When Morneau is breaking down hitters, you're listening. And Plouffe is probably the biggest star of the three.
Correct.
Like he's got, and it's probably reps. He does John Boy, and he's got his own company. But when you have those three, they weren't just great players for the Twins. They were teammates, so they have rapport. They have inside jokes that they're just relaxed around each other, and they're really good at what they do. And it made for some really insightful stuff because they had a good idea of what they wanted to do.
Very cool. Dan Hayes is with us. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. We'll take the temp of the team as we are approaching. I know you love the temp of the team.
No, it's the greatest.
So do I. I love it too. We will do that as we get close to trade deadline. I mean, these are some critical series coming up for the Twins. Fun. a series to come down to Target Field as well. You can hear every pitch, every hit right here on the home of the Twins, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's Jason back with you at Target Field, where we are under kind of a filtered sunlight tonight. This is one of those tricky nights where you think, like, I don't need the sunscreen. I'm going to be fine. It's cloudy. Terrene Dermatology says, lather up, people. You need the sunscreen. You need it when it's cloudy. You need it when it's sunny. You need it when it's winter. I put on sunscreen every morning and I reapply in the afternoon because I have a family history of skin cancer. Every year, I go to Terrene Dermatology for a full body skin checkup. Now, the first time I did it, I was a little nervous because, let's be honest, what guy wants to go to the doctor for any sort of checkup that involves full body? Does not sound fun. Terrene Dermatology made me feel so comfortable. It was fantastic. And at the end, you feel like, you know what? I have a better handle as to whether or not I need to worry about skin cancer. Make an appointment right now. You can do it online. And one of the beauties of Terrene Dermatology is they save, for CCO radio listeners, they save appointments so you can get in within 3 weeks. Most dermatology clinics, it'll take you 3 months. 3 weeks at Terrene, Tareen, dermatology.com.
Feel like everything's clouded by doubt? Visit CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
Snakes, zombies, public speaking. The list of fears is endless. But the real danger is in your hand when you're behind the wheel. Distracted driving is what's really scary and even deadly. Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Heading out for the weekend? Lucky you!
Don't forget to stop at Thieler Meats of Piers for some melt-in-your-mouth moments. Mmm.
High-quality beef.
Fresh and smoked sausages and brats.
Home-smoked bacon.
All-natural chicken.
A great selection of fish and seafood.
Visit us at thielermeats.com.
We've got the cuts that'll make your meal.
Call to order ahead and pick up on your way to the lake.
You'll be the hit of the party.
No meals complete without Thieler Meats
of Piers.
Grown-ups, aren't Sundays more fun without... Can I have screen time? Can I have a snack? I don't want to go to Grandma's. It smells funny. And I'm bored. Bored is impossible on Kids Day at Target Field. The Gate 34 lawn is turned into Bullseye's backyard. Kids' meals are half off. Kids 12 and under can run the bases after the game. And Grandma's invited too. Enjoy your weekend wind-up with Sunday Kids Days, presented by Target. Join in at twins.com/tickets.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Do you know what went down at the Viper Room the night River Phoenix died? Are you aware of how Steve McQueen escaped death at the hands of the Manson family? But what about the real-life brutal murder that inspired David Lynch's Twin Peaks? These stories and more are told in the Hollywoodland podcast, where true crime and Tinseltown collide. Follow and listen to Hollywoodland wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. 169 northbound, jammed up Highway 7 to Highway 55. You're also going to find those slowdowns in place. West 94, Hemlock Lane to Weaver Lake Road. East Side Metro, North 52, plugged up between Plato and I-94. Laguna, Minnesota reminds you to slow down in construction zones. The members of Laguna and their contractors, union contractors, are building better infrastructure for you, so please slow down and pay attention to the road signs when you see orange and yellow. Brought to you by Laguna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Hungry? Go to Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan for real Texas barbecue. All meats smoked fresh in-house daily. You can dine in, take out, have it delivered, or have your event catered anywhere in the metro. Just go to Dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan, the Twin Cities catering leader.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, the weather's brought to you by Dickey's Barbecue Pit of Egan. You can find them at Dickeys.com. Live radar, which you can see if you're watching us. Oh, no, you can't. Boop. Now you can. On the stream on YouTube at the WCCO radio channel shows the leading edge of storms moving into the Maple Grove, Brooklyn Park area. It's going to be a heavy downpour, but then it's going to be out of here. So hopefully it won't affect us here at the game. It certainly is going to do nothing more than a rain delay. Low of 68. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a little bit smoky. 82 is the high, and then 87 on Sunday. It's humid, I'll tell you that much. My hair, oh my goodness, what the humidity is doing. It is 84 here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH.
I know some of you love this. It's not totally an old person thing, but sort of.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Let's take the current temp of your Minnesota Twins. Brought to you by Chef IQ Sense. Get your wireless meat thermometer now at chefiq.com.
All right, time to take the temp of the Twins. And, well, the last time we talked about this, I was nervous. We were cold. And then the Twins taking 2 out of 3 from the Cubs was not an outcome I expected,
right?
Dan. So I would still say, like, maybe we're in the lukewarm department.
I'm going to say lukewarm, and I'm going to say even possibly trending towards heating up.
Okay.
And here's why. They just took 4 of 6 from the Cubs and the Rays, very good teams. They now play these 12 games, and obviously 9 of them are after the All-Star break, but 3 against the Pirates, that's a winnable series. You come out of the All-Star break, you start at the Rockies, you should win 2, maybe 3. Then you play the Dodgers. That's tough, but you have the Nationals after that. So you have 9 of 12 games against winnable teams, which really comes at a critical time for them because we are headed towards the trade deadline. We are less than 3 weeks from the trade deadline, and this team needs to know what direction it's in. And I think if they're at 500 or above, they're going to hang on. There's no way at 500 or above. The AL is so watered down. There's not many teams that are going to run away. So this is a critical stretch. So maybe with the schedule favorable, we can say trending towards warm. And that's
Trending
weird
warmer.
to say
Yeah.
about a 45 and 48 team.
I know, right? You agree, Dan?
I do.
Yeah.
I think I was looking at that schedule earlier today, especially coming out of the All-Star break. There's a chance to make some hay with the trade deadline at the end of the month. It's important, and these guys, they know that.
And we talked to Jeremy Zoll about that in the 3:30 half hour, so you can find that wherever you find podcasts or go back and rewind the YouTube live video. But Jeremy talked about sort of the challenge of, like, right now we could be right in the thick of it.
Right.
Now, you hate to say the whole thing comes down to how they play over the next, 12
They need to
games.
capitalize.
But they have to capitalize.
Absolutely do. And they haven't for a lot of this year. And that's what 500 teams do. And they need to show they're better than a 500 team. Now, we've seen 93 games of this, and usually you have a pretty good idea of what you are. They do have some guys coming back, which they're excited about. Luke Keeschel just went to Florida yesterday to start hitting some more. He'll get in some games soon. Zebby Matthews is getting close. Pablo Lopez started playing catch. Those are good signs, but they need to take advantage of this window and convince their bosses that they're worth betting on, because if they sold, they could get a lot back.
It's hard. They were so good in May and so awful in June. How do you get an idea of how good
I
this
don't
team actually
understand
is?
it. That's baseball.
That's baseball. Dan Hayes, it was great to see you at the Ludacris concert.
Yes.
On Sunday.
Yes.
And tonight it's Nelly. It's all the hits for us.
It's a good week, man.
It's not bad. It's not bad. It is it is hot, so it is the appropriate weather.
It helps it out because it was a rough week with Matt Cameron retiring from Pearl Jam.
That's true.
I'm
that was a
sad,
tough one.
So
yes.
I've been pretty down.
All right. Dan Hayes, we appreciate it. Check him out at The Athletic and make sure you listen to the game right here on CCO. Steve Thompson will bring you up to pregame, which starts at 6:30. Thanks, everybody, for watching and for listening. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week on Drive Time.
Broadcasting from the Flatibow Land Studios, this is